Who wants to tell me what our group of intrepid adventurers did last week for some bonus XP and maybe an advantage?
We fucking wrecked a dragon. There's
That's
no
very
other
true.
way to
Make me
put it.
black.
We wrecked a
Yeah,
dragon.
boy.
Make me black, hippo. Thank you. Yes, you did in fact wreck a dragon. What else did you guys?
We handed
Sure, that's not the only
Red
thing.
Magic Man into the custody of that town.
Mm-hmm.
And we discovered an orb thing that controls weather and stuff. And
That's
and
true.
more. And we're gonna take it to Neverwinter.
All right. Neverwinter has proven to be a little bit of an issue for me to make a
no.
map for you guys. So I'm probably not going to have a table map for you guys, but there's a very good reason for that. Who's from Neverwinter? Dilla, isn't your character from Neverwinter?
I don't know what town mine's from. I never made that up.
Oh, okay.
Would it be?
Well,
Would it hinder your plans if he was?
He
No,
can be
no,
from
no,
Neverland.
no.
I'm fine with that. I just never
just
thought
asking.
about it.
The reason why I ask is I'll need to give you guys a little bit more background. So, if you recall last week, I mentioned that this city and Old Alwell, the city to a lesser extent, were all affected when there was a volcanic eruption, which rearranged the topography a little bit and fucked up the ley lines, and generally speaking, caused all sorts of unpleasantness for the idyllic dwellers of the countryside here, where you guys have been cavorting about, murdering your way across. Neverwinter was the epicenter of that eruption. So the city itself is much smaller than it used to be, a large swath of it being wiped out by said eruption. And there's also an enormous chasm that has been torn across multiple districts that in some places goes as the Underdark, or the Upper Underdark, I should say. And due to that happening, let me pull up a map of Neverwinter for you guys, just to make it a little bit easier for you. Like a general big overview of the coast, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. So Neverwinter is a coastal city. It's called the Jewel of the North. It's one of the largest cities in Faerun in the north. And near it is a city called Luskan. Luskan is, generally speaking, a den of scum and villainy, and is ruled by a council of pirate lords. And they and Neverwinter have been at war with each other on and off for many years, and currently stand at a cold truce, I suppose you would say. Like, not really a truce. They're constantly backstabbing each other and spying and murdering and politicking, but there haven't been any overt battles. And due to the weakened state of Neverwinter and the fact that a large chunk of the city has been erased or rearranged by this volcano, the Lord of Neverwinter, Lord Nerevar, has forbidden the creation of maps of the city. It is an immediate death sentence found with a map of Neverwinter on your person. This is a very commonly known law. Everybody knows it. So that's why I was asking if anybody is from Neverwinter. But I'm assuming anybody who's caravan traded near there or from there, or anybody who's from the city, will be aware of this city ordinance. There are maps of Neverwinter, but to be caught with one in your possession is a very, very serious offense, and you will not even get a trial. You will literally be executed by the city guard on the steps outside of a tavern, immediately. Like, they don't even haul you off to jail. So that is why there are no maps of the city of Neverwinter. So I can sketch stuff out for you guys on the board if we need a little bit of context of something happening, but I can't load up a map like I can of Thunder Tree, because there are none. So that makes it a little bit trickier. So that's just a little bit of background.
Makes sense to me.
Any questions? Anything I can help fill in that's unclear, or any questions that I've raised with the stuff I just mentioned?
No.
All good. Anything else you guys would like to know while we're at it? I'm quickly just creating a tile here for you.
Would I have a working knowledge of the outskirts, kind of having dropped off caravans and shit, but never really having spent much time there?
Yeah, you might know like a couple of the areas. That's not an issue. Especially like where the primary gates are, where traders come in, where the good inns are, and that kind of thing. That's not an issue. But you wouldn't actually have a map in your
Oh, yeah.
possession of where those things. It'll all be in the mind, so to speak. I just want
I
to
don't
quickly make
know
a
how
tile.
much it matters, but while we're in a city, we all move
Mhm.
twice as fast because I'm a urchin.
Okay,
As long as we're not in
good to
combat.
know. If you're getting pursued and you guys are trying to lose the cops, that's good to know. Good to know. I'm trying to create a tile quickly, Hippo, but I'm like derping out. I think I've stroked out. I want to
Say
create
it's a custom tile. Oh, you can't do it, can you? Only the host can do it. Do you want to give me the link? I can do it.
No, that's fine.
Alright.
No, it's not that essential for today.
Okay.
I'll do it later and then save it. Like I said, I didn't have time to do all this stuff. I also made it a playlist, but then when I loaded up Roll20, it's not sure what the fuck happened. Okay. So, you gentlemen hit the road last week, if I remember correctly, or did you not leave? No, you did leave, didn't you?
Yes.
Hit out already.
Yep.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Are you guys taking any precautions of any kind, or are you just boots to the ground, marching to Neverwinter, or are you more meandering your way across the countryside? How would you like to go about traveling?
Probably straight there.
Probably pretty straight at a meandering pace.
It's not like anybody
Yeah.
really knows we've got this magical orb. We think.
Yeah, and I'd assume Vanguard would be watching during the nights because he just shuts
At this
down.
point, I'm just going to assume that's usually the case.
I'm sorry, I don't
because
need to sleep.
Vanguard. Yes, you terrible person. All right. So, with the muddy roads that are still inundated with water, and trade not having really resumed, the roads not having had much time to sink, well, not to sink, to dry out, it's going to take you guys approximately 2 weeks to get to the city of Neverwinter. Vanguard, not so much for you, but your companions, unfortunately, have to eat, sleep, and do get tired. That's a thing that they have to be aware of. There we go. I found a good link for you guys. This will have to do just as an interim. Sorry about this. There we go. It's in the Tabletop Games channel. That gives you an idea. So, if you guys want to quickly click on that link, I'll show you exactly what's happened. Everybody got the link open?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, you guys will see Neverwinter is right above the Mere of Dead Men. And above that is Luskan. Those are the two cities that are at war with each other, with Waterdeep further down to the south. You fine gentlemen are, I don't know if this map has the town that you guys are on in it. Look. No, this map does unfortunately not have the town you guys are at on it. But anyway, you guys are near. Just make sure I've got my bearings correct here, that I don't give you completely the wrong directions. Yes, you guys are basically above Southwood, or near, and like at the bottom of Southwood, I would say is pretty much where. So you're essentially going to travel up the road, and then you're going to travel to the west down towards Daggerfort, then up past Waterdeep towards Neverwinter is where you guys are going.
Ah, yes, Southwood. I see it now.
All right.
All right. Yeah, just to give you guys like a little idea of where you are in relation to where you want to go. So do you guys want to follow the road to get there, or do you want to cut across country, or how would you guis want to do it?
Probably follow the roads. It's probably safer
Yeah.
Alrighty.
than people aren't going to think we're weird if we're hiding in trees.
I mean, they're definitely going to think you're weird. Okay.
What's so weird about a big robot, a dwarf, and an orc all hanging out?
When I said that, Indy did say that we are weird.
She is a wise lady. Okay. Let me just pull up this quick. So, actually, no, let's just do this. I would like everybody to roll a d20 for me. And if anybody has a survival as a proficiency, skill that they're proficient, then
Oh.
you can add that to your roll.
No, I'm not proficient at survival, but I rolled a nat 20.
That's pretty good.
I am proficient at survival, which brings my total to 7.
Okay.
I got a
that's pretty
12.
impressive. A 12, 7, 12, and 20. That's some pretty good rolls. Okay, so over the course of the next week or so, you make your way towards the city of Neverwinter. And the going is tough, but not incredibly difficultly so. Your orcish companion, with his very quiet-ish demeanor and rather simple-spoken words, somehow knows exactly where to go, where to avoid pitfalls, and where to avoid traps. That are set by people that have decided to prey upon travelers in this area. The second week, everybody roll d20 for me, please. See if anything interesting happens to you lot.
10.
5.
18.
80. That's pretty good as well. Damn you all with your reasonably high averages.
Woo!
Damn you, I say!
We're so
Alright.
statistically average.
It is incredibly
Alright.
statistically average. You find, gentlemen, on the 6th day of travel of the second week, finally crest the enormous, slushy, brown hill before you, and see before you sparkling the city of Neverwinter. Its granite grey walls rising up good 80 feet from the surface of the wooded area that has been cleared around it. You can see the stumps of trees cut down level with the ground for a good 300-400 meters in every direction to make sure that there's no cover for the enemies of Neverwinter near the city walls. You see in vast places in this curtain wall, the walls cracked as if somebody's taken an enormous axe to it and struck down and shattered these stone walls. And many places are still covered in a greyish patina of almost hardened cement-like substance. The locals, Vanguard, call the substance creme. It's a kind of ashy, almost clay-like substance that was left behind by the eruption of volcano that coated many of the buildings who did not get destroyed immediately, and has left many of the structures either leaning haphazardly or somewhat melted like a candle. You know, it looks like the stone itself had run, almost like somebody had left a candle too close to a flame, giving the buildings in the interior of the city a somewhat misshapen appearance. You also notice that many of the buildings, especially for the more well-to-do-it folk, as you approach the walls, you can see through the gaps and so on, have been scraped clean and meticulously restored to their previous splendor, but they stand at odds with these strange, misshapen lumps standing side by side with them. Despite the track leading up to the city, or track road, I should say, being incredibly murky, there is a steady stream of carts entering the city. There are people exiting. There are men in their grey and blue cloaks from the Neverwinter Watch patrolling the walls and the outside of the city, keeping order, making sure that people enter the city in an orderly manner. And all about you is a bustle. You notice that at the single gate leading into the city of Nebuchadnezzar, there is, however, a group of guardsmen, one of them dressed slightly more ostentatiously than the rest, that appears to be stopping every single group that is entering the city. And occasionally, as you wait your turn, follow this throng of people into the city itself, into the city proper, you do see him shake his head and point people away, and you see them dejectedly turn around,
Can
start heading away from the vicinity.
can I try and grab one that walks past?
You just want to like pick up a random person.
Okay, well, okay, shuffle them over towards us. And just, why have you been turned away?
All right. While you guys are patiently waiting, you see a old woman, grey of hair, grey smock, rather dirty, with a wooden crate she's carrying in her arms that have got some vegetables that look like they've seen better days. Busy hobbling away painfully in arthritic legs from the gate. And at her side, a young girl, clearly not her daughter, most likely a grandchild of hers, clutching her skirts and following her down away from the gates. What's that, dearie?
Oh no, she's a witch.
She is a witch.
I
Fox fall, everybody dies.
I'd just like to know why you've been turned away.
Said they're only taking goods and traders. They're big. She spits on the ground. Nice big green phlegmy lump. Bounces slightly.
What kind of food's in the basket?
It's like things like carrots, and it looks like some ears of corn that have swollen from the constant rain and look like they're well on their way to molding and rotting. Things of that nature. A couple of onions that look like they've got worms in them.
I'll buy your basket of food if you're selling.
Oh? Oh! Well, that's most kind of you. I'm sorry, I don't know how to address you.
Neither do most people.
Fair enough. All right. I'll sell you the whole lot for 3 silvers.
I'd give her a gold.
You see her like, I don't have change for this. I don't have. We need to get inside to the changing house. I don't have change to give you for this gold piece.
Keep the change.
That's mighty. That's mighty fine of you, sir. I thank you.
And
Come on. And she,
then I turn and
Look.
hand the basket to the other two. I have provided food for you.
It's covered in worms.
Protein.
No, okay. Is good for
See, this one is grateful for food.
He can have my share of it. I don't mind.
You really should keep your strength up.
I have some rations back from the town. I forget its name that we were in.
wow. Fandalen.
Fandalen.
Flap doodle.
Flapdoodle.
Also.
Ah yes, Flapdoodle.
Very well. Enjoy your feasts. Orc. Git, that's the name.
Okay.
And then,
So-
yes, they're turning away people who aren't traders. We might need to flash some cash, as humans say.
We did get some jewels and rings
Put-
from
Put them on.
the Red Cloak.
You're still wearing the red cloak, aren't you?
Am
No.
I still wearing
I'm-
my double red cloak poncho?
I don't know. Are you?
Sure.
Okay.
Somebody should put on all the jewels, make themselves look like a trader.
As you guys are standing here discussing, you're like gradually moving up with this human centipede that's moving closer
Please,
to the...
no human centipedes.
closer and ever
Vanguard
closer
no
to the
longer wishes
gates.
to be on this planet. He flies off.
You see, there's only 2 more groups of people in front of you before you get to the city gates. What would you guys like to do in the minute or so that you have before you get to the gate?
I'd like to use my disguise kit to perhaps make myself look more like noble, rather than, you know.
So you're just gonna like, while standing on the street corner there.
I'll stand in front of him. My great bulk shielding him from the eyes of guards. He's
Sure.
very
Like,
small.
Makeup and stuff.
Sure.
It's
Make a disguise kit. Make a disguise check. Why not?
Do I add a proficiency bonus to that? Or
Do you have proficiency in disguises?
I have a disguise kit. I don't know if I'm proficient in it though. It came with the urchin background.
Frantically
You
googling.
can say on your character sheet at bottom left if you're what tools you're proficient in.
I'm googling.
Then yeah, I'm proficient in it.
Yeah, the
yeah.
on a proficiency
19.
kit lets you have proficiency.
All right. Go for it.
19.
All right. So, how are you going about disguising yourself?
Just taking out some like makeup out of the kid and like covering up blemishes and stuff, you know, like
All right.
hiding any,
Substituting it for a
getting
bath.
getting all the dirt off and stuff.
Okay, so you're just like powdering yourself up, so you're looking like.
Yeah, make my
Fake.
beard look a little fancy.
Oh my.
Put-
All right. And what about the rest of you?
I ain't doing shit.
I'm a caravan guard. I stand looking like a guard.
Alrighty. Okay, is that it?
Would
That's
would the guards recognize me, being fairly unique-ish?
Roll a d20 for me, and we'll see if one of them has been on duty for the other times you've been here.
17.
17. I mean, all these humans kind of look the same to you,
What?
but you reckon the blonde-haired fellow standing behind the one chicking will come, a guy with a dark beard and long hair and the ostentatious bearing. The sandy-haired fellow looks like he looks familiar. I mean, you think he's probably been around in here before.
I point him out to Barnaby. That one may recognize me. He might remember I'm a caravan guard.
We could say you
And-
two are my bodyguards.
And in saying that, you guys sort of get not pushed to the front, but the flow of people, you know, ends up depositing you like right next to the gentleman that has been checking everybody coming into the city. Looks over at you with the bridge of his nose. And he's just the guardsman. You don't see any captain's pins or anything like that. He just looks like somebody who's taken his duty here at the gate. It's all gone to his head. So, what brings you to the city of Neverwinter?
I be here for trade. These two are my bodyguards, and I'm gonna, hold out my hand, and I have
Make a-
one of the platinum rings on it.
Okay. He glances down at the ring and then looks at your still rather scruffy appearance. And where would these goods be that you have brought to trade, Sir Dwarf?
I'm gonna show him some of the jewels that we've gotten over the course of, being.
Or some of the loot bags we're hauling.
Yeah, the loot bag.
The jingly jet.
You just
I
look over
just
them and there's
wobble
just, like,
myself
a
and
pile of-
jingle.
Alright. Must say, from which dwarf hall do you hail? Not seen your kind here before. You look rather, dare I say it, he sniffs, scruffy.
What are some towns?
You mean dwarf holds or towns?
I guess that like Barnaby would know because I'm not
Well,
really sure.
From where is Barnaby, did you say?
I don't know.
Okay, from where does Barnaby want to be? Do you want to make up a town, or do you want to use an established?
We can use an established, so that's easier.
Big city, small city?
It'd be a big city.
Your primary choices are going to be Luskan, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, or or
Let's go Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Okay. The Sea of Swords. Alright. So what did you want to know?
Well, the guard was asking where I was from, so I'll tell him I was from Baldur's Gate. I be from Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Did not realize that they had such fine gems. Were the roads hard, you say?
Oh, very waterlogged.
And you traveled with your goods unaccosted all this way?
I have these two big bodyguards with me. No one seemed to even look at us. Too
I
afraid.
find that very, very unlike. He looks at you, Vanguard, and he looks even harder at you, Git. Standing there in your tattered, what passes for armor, and your very orcish, very clearly orc-blooded face. And you say these are bodyguards. Can't say I've seen type before.
Do you see how strong they are? They make good bodyguards.
Yes, well, we're not in the habit of letting greens into the city. You may pass, but your bodyguard will have to stay outside.
Oh, that
Did you say
kid too.
bodyguards or bodyguard?
Bodyguard.
You specifically, bodyguard.
Oh, what?
Wow, such defeatism.
He's a very he's not like other orcs. He's been able to follow us for this whole time. Follow me as my bodyguard. Are you sure he's not able to come in the city?
Well,
We have many goods that I'd like to trade.
I don't know about this. You see, team thinking. Alright. If I let you inside, you are responsible for the behavior of this creature. You might pass. Which trading house are you heading towards?
Can I just name one real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Before you can answer.
Something else.
If I make one up, is that a real one I've been to before?
Sure.
House Toblerone.
Oh no, why you do this?
It's the first thing I can think of.
Terrible person. House Tobler. Well, it does sound elvish.
Doesn't it now?
Very well.
Their primary trade be chocolate.
Chocolate, is it? That is... Gems and chocolate. That's a very unusual combination. Very well. You may pass. But we'll be keeping an eye on your two unusual bodyguards. Suggest you keep a short leash on.
Thank you.
Waves you through. And you guys walk in under the gatehouse leading in Winter. The walls themselves being quite thick, forming a long, echoing, vaulted corridor leading into the city. And as you exit the other side, the city before you opens up. Make sure I have the right track here. This is going to be incredibly awkward. There we go. You guys walk into the city and you can see people bustling about of all kinds. Humans, halflings, dwarves, elves, and here and there, a slightly more exotic visage of a tiefling or dragonborn making their way to and fro. Before you, you see 3 great roads, I suppose you would call them, more like main thoroughfares that enter from the city. One of them leading off to your right that abruptly ends with a massive gash leading into the ground that way. The one in front of you leading up to what is a enormous grey fortress, stone fortress, and then one to the left that meanders down to the docks, where you can see the masts of sailing vessels and numerous smaller workshops and abodes and marketplaces almost spread out below you a little bit as you're standing on a slight rise above it. So, what would you gentlemen like to do, or where would you like to go?
Do we wish to try and get rid of this globe?
Aye, we need to find out where to drop it off.
Alright. So, how would you gentlemen want to go about doing that?
Is there anybody that looks like they know the town? Town criers, newspaper sales boys.
You see, okay, you guys are basically standing at what I suppose would be the southern part of of Neverwinter. Let me see if I can find a bigger link for you. You guys are basically standing at the southern part of Neverwinter at the moment. And you do see people going backwards and forwards, carrying baskets. You hear town criers in the background. Yeah, there's people passing all around. What would you want to do?
Have a look around for anyone that looks wizardly. Everyone, open your wizarding eyes.
Sure. Make all of you make perception checks. Fuck it, why not?
1.
1.
That is fucking amazing.
Perception. That is a total of 22.
22. You guys, especially not you, Vanguard and Co. You don't see anything that looks even remotely wizard. However, the keen eyes of your orc companion spot something. Not a wizard, but ahead of you, looming above the workshops and yards around the docks, what looks to be a lumber yard where they're laying the keels for more ships, you do spot a tower, pristine white, almost delicate, curling up from the port area. And above it, suspended in a great sheet as if it was a flag flapping in the wind, you see what looks to be a section of the night sky, as if somebody's torn the blackened sky with the stars and the moon on it off and set it to flapping like a flag above this tower. And your keen-eyed companion kind of goes, just, points you to the giant fucking tower.
Yeah. What's that?
That looks vaguely magical.
Big white tower. Sounds like somewhere a wizard may be.
Should we go there?
I suppose. Gotta dump this thing off on someone.
Aye.
All right. So you guys make your way into the bustle of the city, and it's almost like plunging into a stream of water. There are just people everywhere jostling you and pushing you.
Help! We're drowning!
Drowning people. There are people coming and going, and people standing on street corners selling baubles and pins, beaten from cheap brass, guaranteed to keep away the plague. And there's people from various different deities and clerical sects standing on the street corners, crying out about the deliverance or punishment their god is going to deliver onto the unbelievers, and haranguing crowds and trying to follow them. You can see also all about you just great bustling city life. To you, Barnaby, this is very much something that you're at home in. Vanguard, you've got a small taste of this on your trips to the city, but you've never spent any extended period of time inside of the city proper, and yet for you this is just a fucking assault of smells and sounds and visually disorientating all these various colors and varieties of people around. At Great Lake,
Are there any beggars around?
you do see beggars here and there plying their trade, sitting with their begging pans in front of them, various limbs missing, holding out their bowls with their cries for alms, alms for the poor. And you do see them.
Can I approach one and I'd like to ask him? I'd like to give him 5 gold coins.
All right. You see the beggar appears to be blind. He's just kind of like holding his bowl out, and he's only got one leg. And as you approach and drop the 5 heavy gold pieces into the beaten brass pan that he's handling, he goes, "Hello, hello. Tell your fortune, sir."
All right. I was going
I
to ask you
see.
some questions, but
I see that you're going to ask me some questions. Yes.
oh, he's very
Ask your
good.
questions.
How long have
I
you
slapped my
been
face.
in this town?
Well, for all my life, sir. All of it.
What could you tell me about the owner of that tower? The biggest tower in the city.
I don't know if you've noticed, sir, but I'm blind. It's pretty hard to see which is
You've
the
been
largest
blind
tower.
all your life? You've lived here all your life,
life.
so? Aye.
Make a perception check for me.
16.
You notice he's not actually blind. Like occasionally when he's like waggling his one stump, you see him kind of like flip up the side of his one of the rag he's got wrapped around his head, so he can like peer out at you with one of his eyes. Yes, sir. Terrible blindness comes at me at times, especially when I happen to find some money.
So you won't tell me about that tower?
I mean, if only this pan was a little bit lighter, oh, it would be a real goodness for my cold heart.
Lighter, you say. I take the
He's
pan
gonna
off
take
of
his
him.
5 coins back then? If he wants it later?
No, no, no. See, who would steal from a blind man? I think a hefty donation would be in order, right?
Or are we just gonna walk away?
Wait, I'll tell you what you want to know. And he like gets up, and you see he didn't actually only have one leg. Just kind of like got the one folded away under his smock, and like gets up and like hobbles towards you.
Alright, he'll...
No damn respect. Where's my gold?
Gonna give him 2 gold coins back.
Oh, come on. I'll tell you if you want to know if you give me the 5.
How about 3?
How about 5? And I'll tell you where to find some more people that you might find useful, since you seem to be out of town.
4 and we have a deal.
Are you serious? Yeah. Fine. You really ruined my baking spot for the day. I'm gonna have to find another one.
I lean in.
These are gold
Beggars
coins.
can't be choosers.
He looks up at you. That's not funny. Alright, what do you want to know? You've already completely ruined the spot for the day. You realize that. You know I had to rent this from Blatheim, hey?
Well, first, I guess, who is Blatine?
Oh, you know, he runs the bordellos and, you know, robbers, murderers, beggars, thieves. Yeah. You know, him.
Well, could you tell us about this tower?
Sure. I mean, you're gonna pay me again, right?
If you tell us the information.
Oh, well, okay then. I can take you there if you like.
Well, can you
So-
tell us about it first?
Well, I can tell you a little bit. I mean, we've never been inside it, and we're not allowed to steal from it. Mostly on account of that, keep disappearing when you do that. Or not. Well, it's a mage's tower. They call themselves the Star Cloaks. Silly bloody name, if you ask me. They study magic, as it were. They have these fancy cloaks. Look like they got the night sky on. That's how you can tell them. Plus, they're really right smug, satisfied pricks, so you can see them a mile off. And the tower's where they study. That's really there is to it.
Any notable deeds that they've accomplished?
Oh, they claim to keep our reality safe from demons and such, but I mean, honestly, whoever sees them do anything like that?
Alright, thank you.
But when was the last time you saw a demon?
I mean, that's fair, but still. Sounds like a right snobbish bunch of pricks, if you ask me. And honestly, making honest thieves disappear is just not... There's nothing right about that. So, can I interest you guys in anything else? I know some nice whores if you want to have a good time. Don't charge too much either.
I'm gonna give him the
Fences?
4
Stolen
gold coin
gold?
and walk away.
Fine. See if I ever help foreigners again. You see him like pick up his begging bowl and like start scuttling down the
I
alleyway.
hand him a rotten piece of corn.
Okay, and this is...
Sustenance.
Okay, well, you're a strange one, so I'm... Okay, bye-bye. I don't suppose there's any gold in here, is there? He seemed like mutter to himself and wander off into the side. So, anything else you gents would like to do?
Do we
I'm
go
down for
straight to
the
the tower? Do we
Yeah.
find an inn to store our goods? Because we are still carrying around hefty sacks of
Bags
loot.
of money! Make perception checks for me, please.
Oh god, our bags of money have disappeared.
Because I don't get tired, I'm just holding mine as high as I can. My arm is just completely up straight.
20, not natural.
You good?
Perception...
18.
13.
Everybody except Vanguard. You notice there's quite a large selection of various people trying to look casual while following you around.
I'm holding this bag as high as I can to deter thieves. I think it is working.
Well, maybe, maybe we should go, store our, stuff first, then go and see this, tower place. It looked like a beetle or something, I guess.
We should find a reputable inn.
Alright. There are
bank.
inns for days. No banks, unfortunately, but there are money changers. Where one can hand in your gold for credit that can then be withdrawn from any money changer along the Sword Coast. If you want to do that kind of thing.
Nah, it's fine. store a loot in there or something.
All
It's
right.
stolen at some point.
You see quite a few inns as you guys are walking through the city. Many of them appear to be getting slightly seedier as you head more towards the port side where the Wizard's Tower is situated. But you do see the Gilded Pillow, the Wonderful Lily, the Dragon's Breath Inn, the Mighty Ram. There are many, many inns that you pass. They appear to do brisk trade with the high population of the city.
Maybe we should visit the markets first, see if we can just trade the gold for some items.
That
Won't have-
could work. What kind of items are we wanting to purchase?
Well, I could use some armor of the medium variety.
If I were to classify this armor, I would call it medium.
Very
What
well.
about the rest of you guys?
A new smashing stick could be fortuitous when it comes to
No,
smashing.
I don't really didn't. Not you guys.
Not even something to help you crump.
But what, I already have all everything I need to come.
What about
Yeah.
a nice new hat?
A what?
A nice new hat
What do you want for?
to keep your head dry.
It's fun.
When it rains.
It's fun. It is a little water. The water in here, anybody. I need you drying it.
Or potions. We could buy potions.
Yeah, potions make sense.
Alright. As you're weaving your way down the streets towards this tower, you eventually happen upon a street that you can very clearly hear the sound of hammer on anvil repeated many, many times. And it looks like this is almost like a whole street dedicated to armorers, weaponsmiths, blacksmiths of various persuasions.
Sounds like my kind of place.
You can see fire, soot, and smoke hanging quite heavily above the street, pumping from the roofs of all these various establishments. And you can read signs like Dermond's Fine Arms and Armor. And then, like, in smaller letters below it, Fine Dwarven. You can see Praetorian Sons. The black horseshoe, next to it, that appear to be crafted out of some fine silver metal. A little bit further down, you see a shop that looks like the entire front has been made from enormous swords forming vertical slats that you can peer through, almost like a jail cell to the interior. And the outside, you can see Osmond's Arms and Armor. And dozens more down the street.
How do we choose which one to go to?
Well, we got
Let's say there's 10 on either side. How many would you like?
We could just check the first one, and then if they don't have it, we could go down the list. Location, location, location.
I want to walk down and see which one has the least amount of people in.
Oh, that's pretty easy. You walk past a good 6 or 7 of these blacksmithies, and then you see one outside that has got very plainly whitewashed walls, and it's got a glass front, much like you would see at a seamstress or dressmaker shop, and in gold print in the front of the window it just says Phaeton's Arms and Armor, magical or otherwise.
This one looks good.
You can see that there's basically nobody inside of it. There's like no people at all inside of it.
I would think this place has what we need.
Maybe we could ask one of the other blacksmiths about it. See why no one goes in there.
I'm willing to bet it's expensive. Or the proprietor is very
Perhaps.
selective of his customers.
Or we just could go inside and figure it out. And we do share a shop, right?
It does appear to be a shop.
Aye.
Let us do a quick huddle and assess our group wealth. How much coin does everyone have?
Haven't been really tracking that too much. Let me check.
I've just been like converting the stuff into coin basically when Griff tells us the amount at the end.
Yeah, I just have like
Yeah.
the only thing I have tracked is like 215.
I have 546 gold.
I have 761.
Wow, you stealing all that gold.
No, you
And
you
all of
turned
those.
back that 200 gold
That's very true.
at the town, or else we'd be about even.
Taking all those all the rings and shit off dead things. Stealing gems from tombs.
Oh well, I don't even know how much those rings are worth yet.
Okay.
I think Barnaby did offer you one though.
Yeah, I
You
probably
turned it
did.
down.
Want it.
Yes.
That's fine. Alright, well, let's go in, see if they have armor for our dwarven compatriot.
Alrighty. You guys open up the neat wooden door leading to the interior. And the inside smells of faintly of sandalwood and lemon. Very clean, at odds with what you would expect from blacksmithy. Inside, on mannequins, you can see various suits of armor in a multitude of different designs, from the very utilitarian human sets of chain, padded leather in some places, or studded leather. You can see dwarven heavy plate, enormous bands of metal, and you can also see finer links, the elven style, as well as even a few more exotic types of armor that you just can't place. Standing behind the counter, you see a man wearing a not bright, but a light lavender-colored tunic, magnificently mustached, hair fabulously oiled and coiffed delicately, red hair, and very fine skin. Doesn't look like he's ever lifted a hammer in his life. He goes, "Welcome," and then he sees Vanguard and Git, and you see his face kind of flicker between, "Oh, come on," and really, but oh well, it's a customer kind of look.
What a race!
Welcome to Fade's Emporium, where we have the most delectable, delightable, and absolutely fabulous selection of armor available in the city of Neverwinter.
Can I judge to
And
see
if
how
you-
much he died inside when he said that?
Sure, make an inside check.
8.
8. Impressive. I mean, you think you died a moderate amount saying that. So, can I interest you fine gentlemen in a new suit of armor? Something plate, something supple, something chain? We've got all sorts, and if we don't have it, we can definitely make it. For a modest price, of course. And you guys hear a ding, ding, ding of like a fine hammer striking something coming from the back of the shop.
No, Army, this is your
Ye-
turn. What you buying?
Well,
What a...
do you have anything that maybe? Wait, did you say wait up?
Hmm?
Okay. Do you have anything that well, it won't restrict my movement, so I can still move sneakily, but it will protect me, most of my organs.
Oh,
Keep them
that's quite a
intact
tricky
in
one.
case striked.
Well, no, that's a little bit tricky, but we do have quite a selection. And he leads you over to the one side of the store and presses into a wood panel and it turns around like one of those stereotypical bookcases that you always see in movies, can swivel. And you see on the other side of it, there is a selection of different hided, padded, and leather armor. We've got everything from the finest padded armor, dragon scale leather, studded leather, of course some hide, and if you're interested, even some fine elven chain available, in different shapes and sizes, of course. We can always make them slightly smaller or larger, be it as it may, to accommodate our customers. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Something, well, honestly, whatever can afford the highest defense while also being able to move around sneakily.
Well, highest defense would be probably a suit of, well, probably not full plate. Maybe a half plate would probably suit you well, but not the sneakiest thing. Makes it a wee bit difficult to be sneaky. You know, it's going to keep your organs on the inside, but it's going to make it quite difficult for you to move around. If you want to go slightly less protection, you can look at a breastplate. Goody. Keeps your heart where it's supposed to be, keeps your lungs where they're supposed to be, and doesn't quite clang as much as plate does.
And how much would that one cost?
Well, we do have some plate available. I just need to go speak to the blacksmith to see whether or not he's finished it. Please, wait here a moment. I'll be back in a moment. And you see him quickly scurry to the back, and as he opens the door, you actually hear the clinking sound of the hammer becoming louder before you hear somebody on the inside. A customer? Come to buy my armor? Probably some uncouth barbarian coming crawling from the north, smelling of fleas and dog shit. And you guys see a rather large man come stomping out of the back, currently wearing what appears to be a heavy leather apron. Also, magnificent mustache. His face covered in sweat and soot. And you see in one hand he's actually still carrying a small hammer. Looks like it was doing finer work. You ruffians! Have you come to rob the store or for charity?
I jiggle my money bag.
Yep.
And which of you
Jiggle.
half-wits wants the half plate?
That would be me. Just smile at him when he calls me
Like-
a half-wit.
Walks over to you and like kind of sniffs delicately at your odor. Don't think I could sell to them, Phaeton. 700 gold pieces.
Thank you for your time, and then we'll be back later.
What did I tell you? We like turn to. See? What did I tell you? Barbarians, the lot of them. Interrupt my work and don't buy a damn thing. And you can see Phaeton's is like, shh, you know, like calm down. And like, we haven't had a client in weeks. You need to calm down, please.
Can I just pull out my maul and just drop
Sure.
it on the table on like the counter? I would like a replacement for this.
I'm an armorer, not a weaponsmith.
Oh.
Take your barbaric spatula out of here.
It's more of a tenderizer.
Begone! Like, you know, like. You see, kind of like hands above the head, like one hand still having the hammer.
I appear to have been right. He's very choosy about his clientele.
Yes. Having this conversation after I assume we leave.
Yes, then we leave.
Oh, then we leave. Okay.
Oh, alright.
Can I just go around and like compare prices on that, basically? What Barnaby wants to do?
Alright. You go from store to store, haggling here and there. questioning, asking, checking about. The prices generally vary between 400 gold and the 700 gold quoted. Most of the blacksmiths, or weapons, well, armor smiths in your case, are willing to say, like, oh, don't buy from Don up the road because fucking terrible quality, like. And the next guy's like, oh, they just use dwarven slaves to build this armor. Terrible, terrible. And all of them pretty much have something shitty to say about, the next blacksmith over, kind of. But you do end up with quite a range of prices. Oddly enough, the only one you don't hear anything shittily talked about is the blacksmith you guys were at first. Other than him being a cunt.
Other than him being a cunt.
So Barnaby's proficient in smith tools. Would I be able to check like the quality? Because if he knows how to make such things.
Oh yeah, shouldn't be a problem at all. Make a couple of appraise rolls. Roll a couple of d20s and let's see.
How many do you want?
Let's do like 4 of them. Good mixture.
Okay.
Let's see what Barnaby is. Vanguard, I'm assuming you're doing weapon shopping during this.
Yes, just trying.
Is there any particular way you want to do weapon shopping, or are you just following Barnaby around getting prices?
I want to try and find the most reputable. I want to try and figure out the one that the least shit has been talked about.
It is the one that you guys were at first.
So he doesn't make weapons.
No, unfortunately not. He makes armor.
Then
Maybe he was meaning the least shit.
The least shit talked weaponsmith.
You should get a title. Put it on the door.
What did you roll, Barnaby?
22, 20, 14, and then 13.
I mean, most of them seem to be fine. As far as examples of the smith's art goes, most of them aren't anything to write home around. You're not going to name your children after them or anything. It's just armor. Nobody seems to have anything too crazy available. Although you always hear these whispers, of like Phaeton and Wade, like how they often send people on these insane missions to procure exotic components, and they forge these truly unique suits of armor. But as far as the mundane goes, pretty much normal spread.
Vanguard's
Very
head
average
lights
armor.
up. I have an idea. You could offer him some of the scales and bits of dragon we have.
Aye, that'd be true. That's a good idea, Vanguard.
He might be able to make
They're more
something
like,
good.
Scraps than actual useful pieces, dope.
It's still a dragon.
Yeah, dragon be dragon.
Oh,
You guys got chunks from him, if I remember correctly, like bits.
Yeah, I
Did
tried
explode
to.
him.
Yeah, you can get scales off of chunks.
Yeah, I
Oh,
tried
yeah.
to get some of the scales, but I rolled pretty low.
Like maybe not many scales, but scales.
All right.
And teefies.
Teefies.
I have my own TVs. I'm not gonna give them those.
You have your own teefies. I think Vanguard has some teefies, doesn't he? Like dagger length teefies, basically.
I think so, yeah.
All right.
be-
Yeah. So
I'll be
do you
willing
want
to
to just
give
buy
them to Barnaby for trade.
Do you want to buy normal armor, or do you want to go speak to them about getting forged, Barnaby?
Let's go speak to them again. See if just they're the only ones that people aren't bad mouthing. Maybe there's something
Alright.
good there.
You head back in and you see the guy there. Welcome to Phaeton's Emporium. Oh, it's you lot again. Please, just go. I don't feel like calming him down a second time after you've been here already. I mean, if you don't have any money, he's not going to sell to you.
Can we please skip the middleman and just bring your boss out, the smith out?
I mean, I'm not going to be held responsible if he does something permanent.
That'd be alright.
He seems like he's just really tired.
Maybe offer him the platinum ring as well. He might be able to make something of it.
You hear him go to the back, open the door, and once more the ting, 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 getting louder as he comes to the back. Oh, wait! We have some discerning customers for you. And,
Better not be those fucks from earlier.
Those half-wits.
you see him come outside, stop, and then stare at you. His eyes narrow, and you can actually see his head start to, like, his face start to redden, and, like, sweat start to, like, bead his forehead a little more. Okay, so, before I brain you with my hammer, in self-defense, what is it you want?
So what was the armor again? The half-plate?
Breastplate.
Breastplate would have no disadvantage on saves. Breastplate would have higher half-plate would have higher defense, but would not as sneak.
Was looking into that breastplate.
I have no breastplate for sale to you, sir. Good day.
I'm gonna
I said good
take
day.
Well, while he's saying that, I'm gonna take out the dragon scales and the teeth and stuff, and show it to him.
You guys
Perhaps we could do a trade.
You guys are immediately engulfed in the smell of 2-week decayed dragon flesh from your quarry that has somewhat decayed and made your life a little bit more miserable now that it's out of the pack. And you see that the bottom is kind of crusted over, and there's a couple of worms still attached to strings of meat, and it's just overall pretty fucking.
2 feasts I have are thoroughly cleaned.
What in the name of Oladimara is that, and why do you have it in my store?
Dragon!
And you've just been carrying it around in your knapsack for the last month?
I give an
What
exact
is
to
wrong
the
with you people?
I give an exact to the second count as to how long it's been in there.
That I am. Phaeton, go bring it to me. I'm not touching that. He seems like flop his nose. You see the long-suffering Phaeton's like, okay, fine. Like goes, puts on some gloves, walks over, picks them up. So did you find a dead dragon and decide to chop it to pieces?
We found out a live dragon and decided to chop it to pieces.
Okay, well, that's unlikely, but whatever. Well, this is pretty nice. Okay, are you looking to sell? Be willing to buy some of these pieces off of you for a modest price?
Well, yeah, if we could trade it for that breastplate that you do not have, but you could make, perhaps.
Or I have an idea. If you could procure me a few more ingredients, I could forge you a breastplate. One that would shed the blows of your enemies like gentle summer rain, turn aside acids and poison.
What be these ingredients?
Oh, well, if you're willing to give me a few hours to work out the formula for the crafting, could craft you something quite spectacular. Of course, I will require additional ingredients, of course, to help alleviate the cost of the forging, but I could definitely see myself making something incredible from these pieces.
I'm gonna talk to Vanguard and Git. Is that alright with you two if we go look for ingredients?
I have no opinion one way or the other.
So?
And how much would it cost in the end? We are getting all the ingredients, and these are very exotic materials.
Oh, I'd say a paltry sum of 1,000 gold pieces.
500 gold pieces.
500 up front and 500 when you collect the suit.
300 up front and 300 when we collect the suit.
I think I was right when I called you a half-wit because you clearly can't count 1,000.
I mean, if you don't want to work with such fine materials, how often do you get a dragon?
No. I mean, let's be completely reasonable here. But I would be bankrupting myself if we said 600. So shall we say 900 gold pieces?
You be bankrupting yourself. We be getting all the materials for it. All we need to pay for is your work.
My work and most of the materials won't be made entirely from the few paltry scales that you brought. Will have to be cunningly wrought into the metal, strengthened, forged, enchantments laid upon it. It's the labor of weeks.
How about 350 gold up front and 350 gold when it's done?
425 up front. 425 when you collect.
Well, Barnaby doesn't even have that much money, though, so that's my biggest problem here.
Well, I could give you if you want. I don't really have anything I'm looking forward to. It doesn't really fit the character. So you could have pretty much all of my money if you really needed to. I'm more interested in toofies. They're more valuable to me. They're my currency.
Depending on how much Vanguard needs to spend on a possible mall, if he can find one and some potions, I'll have spare money to give.
But yeah, if you have 700, I have 215 if you need. So that should be enough to go for a 900 or something.
Alright, well, I think it's 850 right now. Alright. 425 in the front and back, but also throw in some anti-rust.
Oh no, this will not rust, you don't understand. This will be a suit of legend.
Oh, that's for this, and I'm gonna pull out the Hue axe that's covered in rust.
He like takes it from you, holds it up daintily with like 2 fingers, then grabs it more firmly, takes his hammer in the other hand, and then just hits the axe as hard as he can on the head. And you guys hear a sound like a crystalline chime echo through the inside of the shop, and suddenly all the rest just pings off, leaving the axe head sparkling clear like it's just been burnished. The wood polished and...
I just give a little short clap, like, ooh.
The patina!
Yeah.
Easy!
Alright, you have a deal. 425 in the front, 425 in the back.
Excellent! Phaeton, deal with the man! And he like prances off to the back of the Ford.
What race are
humming
these
happily to
two?
himself. Human.
Okay.
You can hear from the back like the occasional crash as something gets shoved and giggling. Sounds like he's busy preparing for whatever it's going to make out of your armor.
Alright, I'm gonna put...
I don't suppose you have a bag or something to put those in. I don't really want them on the counter.
I do! I'm gonna take out the bag that had the rotting flesh in it.
Gods. You see him kind of like holding the bag by like one hand. Is that all of it? Please tell me it's all of it.
Yep, 425 gold.
Please tell me you didn't just put it in the bag.
It's in the bag.
Why? Why would you do this? And
You should have told me sooner.
Phaeton! Phaeton! Help the man! You hear something else getting crashed over the back. Okay, he takes the bag, and the meat, and the scales, and the blood, and the maggots. And then with a very long, suffering expression starts slowly prying the coins out of the bag and cleaning them off with a little rag while stacking them on the counter. And whose name should I enter in for the armor, for the collection?
Barnaby.
Do you have a surname, Barnaby?
Not that I know of.
Do you
See,
have
I
a
was born on the
title?
streets.
Please don't tell me your life story. It gets so weary.
I was born on the streets.
Barnaby
It was
the
a
dwarf.
cold
Are you
day.
staying at a specific inn, or do you have a address that we must deliver it to?
I will be coming back to pick it up when it is ready, with the rest of the payment.
Okay, well, come by in about an hour. The master should have the list of ingredients required for this set. Good luck getting them. Is there anything else I can help you with, or will you leave me to my despair?
Could you perhaps appraise this? And I'm gonna take out one of the platinum rings.
Not really a jeweler, but is that silver? I don't really know. I don't know. You have to go speak to a jeweler. They're probably gonna be your best bet. I mean,
Alright,
I
thank
think
you.
it's silver, but like I said, I'm not a jeweler. I don't know.
Do you have any recommendations for a good jeweler?
I don't. But if you're looking for arms to go with your armor, we've got a fairly wide selection along the street. I recommend you go up to Max at the top of the street. Very unassuming fellow, but his work's good. I don't think you'll be sorry if you purchase from him.
And he sells weaponry.
Yep.
Makes weaponry. I'm sure he has a selection for sale too.
Okay, that would have
But,
been my next question.
Anything else? If I don't say so, you're quite an odd group. I'd recommend you hit up the baths and, I don't know, maybe find some clothing so you can look respectable. I don't even know if your friends wear clothing. He looks at Vanguard.
I've got my poncho.
Okay, well, maybe get your poncho washed, I guess. Okay, so come back in about an hour. I should have everything ready. And we can get Wade's list for you and get you going.
Alright, thank you.
What's that, my green-skinned patron?
God. Thank you for your time.
Oh, very well spoken. You too. And welcome to Wade's very exclusive Emporium, where you're our first customer for the last 2 years, so congratulations. We'll see you in about an hour.
And
So, what do you gentlemen up to next?
I'm going to see Max.
Yep, heading to Max.
Alrighty. You guys step out onto the street. The winds come up a little bit, making the day slightly more overcast than it was. Cold, wintry sunlight shining down at you, people passing on either side. You make your way up to the tavern, and at the front of the tavern, you see a sign. Tavern. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm very tired. The front
Beer
of the
weapons.
blacksmith's- Beer weapons.
Oh,
To the front of the shop. Very, very plain. You see most of it is constructed of very dark wood. Looks like it's been oiled. Almost Celtic iconography and inscriptions burned into the pillars. 13 of them scattered around the store. And at the rear, you see a very plain-looking half-orc gentleman. You almost take him for human at first. Very small tusks, very pale skin, and he's wearing a white shirt, a leather apron, and he is at the moment busy polishing a longsword with oil on the rag before setting it neatly back in the stand as you approach. So, welcome to Macanelli's. How can I help you, gentlemen?
I wish to upgrade this. Do something better. And I drop them all in front of him.
He looks at you reproachfully, where you've dinged his counter somewhat by dropping them all on it. Take it as a kindness if you don't scuff my furniture, your tools, sir.
I pick it up and put it down gently.
It's better. Alright, what did you have in mind? Do you want to replace it? Have me forge something for you, or do you want to have me see if I can tinker with it in some fashion?
What would be the best for making it flatten people more effectively?
Well, it's gonna depend on what kind of targets you're fighting. If you want, you can make it a spiked hammer. Better for penetrating armor, breastplates, plate, that kind of thing. Concentrates the force on a single point. Otherwise, might interest you in a more axe-shaped blade. Good for peeling men out of armor that don't want to be out of armor. Or if you want to stay with a maul, always go heavier. You seem like quite a big lad. Larger head, steel haft. Make it a more brutal instrument. Much harder to use, but should hit a hell of a lot harder if you're as strong as you look.
This one sounds good.
Which one would that be?
The heavy one.
Alright. Let's have a look. What does your maul look like, Hippo?
It's basically just like a big,
Wooden haft, or...?
like really, no, more metal haft, and then kind of the ends of it have been like split around, holding a large, basically a chunk of rock. It's pretty basic.
Alright, let's see, what do we have to work here? Huh? Stone is a pretty good idea. It seems it's held up pretty well over the years. Alright, there is something we can try. I'll need you to come around the counter, though. I can't pick this up. And he walks over to the counter and like lifts the little chain so you can come behind him. Come over here and see if you can pick this up. And he leans down and there's a wooden chest on the ground behind the counter that he flips open. And inside you see a silvery black chunk of metal sitting inside the chest. Probably about the size of your fist, Vanguard.
I pick it up.
Make a strength check for me.
Oh no.
That's a heavy boy.
Seven? No, a 7.
Do you wanna... He sees you like struggling to pick it up. You're like,
Hold
you don't
on.
even get it off the
Let
floor.
let me alter my posture.
Alright, don't hurt your back.
Can I roll again?
Yeah.
$19.
Okay, you see him, like even in you straining, you can, you get it to about knee height before your arms like start shaking it a little bit to drop it. Okay, let's do one more. Try and see how long you can hold it. Try and pick it up again for me, bro.
$16.
Okay, and then once more you like pick it up, you get it to about knee height, and then your back starts groaning and you can start hearing a gear stripping and you think, no, this is probably a better idea to put this down. Okay, so, that's okay, we can come around to the front. Okay, alright, I think about a half measure of that. We forge you a solid steel head for your maul, replace the stone with that. I think we should meld the haft into it for structural integrity, and then maybe smith about quarter of a kilo of that star metal. Should make it fairly heavy. Wouldn't want to be in front of it if you swing it at somebody. What do you think?
This sounds satisfactory. What kind of metal is this?
I'm not rightly sure. A couple of years ago, a bunch of adventurers came by these parts, and they found it out near the Neverwinter Woods. Apparently, some kind of star had fallen from the sky and left a big old crater where a black dragon took up residence. As far as I can tell, they battled the beast, killed it, and as part of its hoard, they found this here chunk of star metal. Forged them some weapons, and this is what I got left. To make heavy-duty weapons is generally what I work into the steel. It gives it a, well, let's just say swords hold their edge mighty well, and hammers, well, it's like I said, you don't want to be on the receiving end if somebody hits you with it. Also known to be pretty good against the fake. Don't seem to like this metal much.
How much would this cost to make?
Well, yeah, you're in luck. Normal warhammer is usually about 20 gold pieces. That's, without steel haft and all that. I would just say if we go completely all out, work in the star metal, metal grip, enlarge the weapon somewhat for your stature. I'd have to say that probably looking at a good 150 gold.
This is reasonable.
Alright, well, you'll have to leave your weapon with me for a week or so. Who should I put it down with? What is your name, sir?
Vanguard.
Right, and what inn are you staying at, or do you have a home in the city so I can send somebody for you when it's done?
We're not staying anywhere yet.
Alright, well, if it's not too much trouble, I'd see you then in a week. If you come by, we open at dawn. And then, all going well, your weapon should be done, ready to go.
I don't suppose you have something I could borrow in the meantime, just in case. I'm willing to pay.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Goes over to the rack and looks around for a bit, and then he pulls down a maul that's a bit bigger than yours. It's not, primarily it's longer. Made this for a half-giant fellow who hasn't been by in quite some time. I think he might have made a fortunate end. Tell you what, hang on to this for the meantime, and then in a week's time when you swing by, I'll exchange it. Just don't go pawning it off, okay? May Maker's Mark is on it.
Will do.
Okay, he hands you a maul. And what about you, green friend?
Alright,
Can you upgrade your weapon? Anything on that side?
Oh, I was connected from the lobby for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no.
Steam!
Why would you do this, Steam?
No, I'm good. I got me lightning rod.
Right, and you, dwarf friend?
Well, I was hoping you might be able to appraise these here ring, if it's all possible.
No, it's not really my area of expertise.
Know anyone that can?
Well, you probably have to speak to a jeweler. It's one a little bit further up the road, but honestly, I don't keep much truck with their kind. Doesn't seem to be, I don't know. Tinkering with these small metal bands and precious stones seems to do strange things. So, don't have much truck with them.
What was the name of the armorer again?
The armorer is Phaeton and Wade. Phaeton being the man in front, and Wade being the armorer himself.
Hi, Max. You came recommended by Phaeton and Wade, so that's why we came here.
Oh,
Just,
that bump
so
is
you
an
know.
airbag. You know he hasn't had a customer in here. Don't tell me you actually bought them.
Custom made something.
Oh dear lord, has he given you the list yet?
No. Is it long?
Oh, it's going to be long and redundant and up to your ears in alligator assholes, but I will say this, the pieces he has made over the years have been exemplary. You know he forged Lord Nerevar's armor.
Oh, Lord Nevervar himself, you say?
Aye,
I do not know who that is.
he's the ruler of the city, of the province of Neverwinter.
Oh, I see.
It's the only reason Wade is still here. He forged the armor Lord Nerevar wore, battle against Luskan a few years ago, and Lord Nerevar's cavalrymen got cut off as I hear it. Yeah. numerous crossbowmen. In somewhat time. Apparently the male made for him shed the blows like raindrops. And after the battle was done, Lord Nerevar gifted him with quite a large sum of money. So say what you will about the ass, does look like he knows his trade.
I was wondering how he stayed open for 2 years without a customer.
Aye, so do we all. Insufferable windbag that he is. So, is there anything else I can do for your lads?
Ooh. Could you tell me the quality of this piece? And I hand him Goblin Slayer, my crossbow.
Oh, now this isn't really my stock in trade, but still decent workmanship when I see it. All metal too. Oh, would you look at that? Mike turns the crossbow over in his arms. Well, this seems pretty... Oh, I see. Where's the other part of it?
Other part.
The magazine.
This was all
And he,
we
like,
found.
He flips it over to show you the bottom. See, there's actually a latch. Looks like a square protrusion on the underside of the crossbow. So it's got the groove you slip a bolt in on the top, but at the bottom you see there's a latch with something that is missing. I've heard of these. I mean, it's unusual just to have one half of it, but yeah, you should probably try and find the rest or have one made. Probably a good idea.
And this magazine does what exactly?
Oh, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Hold on. And he fetches a piece of parchment, a bit of charcoal, and sketches out a curved sickle-looking magazine for you. You see, there's a spring bottom of this with a metal plate, and a cunningly arranged series of grooves and grips, and he shows you. And you can load up to 10 crossbow bolts into it, and you can fire them one at a time in rapid succession and without having to reload the device. It's faintly magical. There's some kind of enchantment that stops the bolts from falling out, flailing around, but it allows you to fire quite a few times before you have to reload. And of course, if you have multiples of these magazines, well, then you can fire continuously for as long as you have them. Also, fairly useful. It's based off old dwarvish designs.
And would you happen to know where I could get one of these magazines?
Well, I don't know anybody in these parts that knows how to construct one, but I mean, I could probably make you one if you could find me some plans, or get me in touch with a dwarf of good standing who would know how to forge such a thing. Material shouldn't be hard to come by. Might even be able to make a few of them. I know the theory. If you're willing to pay for my time, I could probably figure out how to build one of these, but it's going to take up quite a large amount of work hours. You'd have to pay a premium for it, unfortunately.
I will keep my eyes open for plans
Alright.
of some sort.
Yeah,
Would
or
it
like
be-
I say, if you dwarven smiths should be able to help you out as well.
Like the
Would it be
dwarven
possible?
we have.
He
Barnaby,
said a
yeah,
dwarven
Barnaby.
sith of good standing.
Oh, that is.
You could always try the Engineers Guild. They might have something like that.
I hold it up to Barnaby. Do you know anything of this?
Barnaby knows nothing.
I do not.
Otherwise, there's always the second option.
Second option
hold it?
being?
Ever heard of a bag of holding?
Have I heard of a bag of holding?
Make a... Yeah, fuck it, you have actually.
Okay.
Everybody's heard tales of these magical bags that you can store infinite things. I mean, they're not even that uncommon as far as magic items, so everybody's probably heard of them. Well, I've heard tell that mages can craft all sorts of interesting containers. You might even... Have you ever heard of those elven quivers? You don't have any arrows in them, and you put your hand inside and pull it out, whoop, and you have an arrow in your hand. You could probably get a mage to make something similar for this.
That sounds prohibitively expensive.
A bag of
Well,
bolts.
I mean, yeah, like a bag of bolts. That's a good name. We should come up with one and then call it that. Bet we'd make a fortune.
Well,
Oh, anything else for you, gents?
I will return in a week for my hammer.
All right. Good to me. And then don't break that mole, eh?
I will try my best.
Goes back to like polishing his sword. Right, so gentlemen, anything else you'd like to do?
I'd like to go to that jeweler.
All right, you head up the street. A couple of different jewelers. Most of them have got cases in front displaying various necklaces, brooches, clasps for cloaks, rings, earrings, that kind of thing. You get into one of them and you see a woman, half-elven features, fine black hair, sitting behind the counter rather primly. Looks at you disapprovingly as you come into her place of work. Must a scruffy dwarf man, still spattered in the rain, mud, road. Welcome to Tasha's Jewelry. And how may I help you?
I was wondering if you could appraise this here ring.
Only if I were to buy it. Are you selling?
Well, I mean, I was wondering how much it was worth. So.
Well, I'm not going to go around just praising free. I can always charge you a fee if you like, or I could buy it from you.
How much be this fee?
15%.
How attached are you to this ring?
How do we... well, I mean, how do we know how much the 15% is if we don't know how much it is, right?
Well, that's the thing. If your character was
This sounds like a scam.
if your character was a person who knew a bit more about jewelry, then you'd probably be able to appraise it yourself.
How much you willing to buy this for?
So are you paying my fee then, I take it?
So, no matter what you do, you have to pay the... To have it appraised, you must pay the fee, yet to have it sold, you must have it appraised.
Catch
Oh, well,
22.
if you just want to sell it, then I'll give you 40 gold pieces for it.
I will... I'm gonna go check out some other jewelers instead. He's gonna start walking out.
See her smile, like, leaves you.
Oh, she called the bluff.
Onward to the next jeweler.
Alright, next jeweler.
You walk into Clayton's Jewelry. Small halfling man standing behind the table. Sideburns, top hat, petticoat, waistcoat. Long sleeves, long pants. Welcome, welcome. And how may I be of assistance to you fine gentlemen today?
I'd be wondering how much this fine piece of jewelry is worth. We found it.
Of course, sir. For a small, modest fee of 10 gold pieces per item, we'd be willing to identify it for you.
That sounds better
Alright.
than 15%.
I will. I'm gonna hand him the 10 gold piece.
Alright, let me have a look at this. And takes it over to the table, puts it down, takes out a looking glass, slides it around, dinks it a bit, clinks it, drops it in a solution to see if it bubbles. Well, sir, I would have to say that you have here a ring of the finest platinum. Indeed, I would value this piece at 50 gold pieces.
Is he lying?
Can I do
You're
an
welcome
inside check?
to insight check him if you want.
Oof, 7. I'm not
20
Pardon me?
natural.
20.
Oh, not natural. Sorry. Just 20 though.
Yeah, he seems like he's completely at ease and telling the truth. You're all looking at me rather strangely. Is there a problem?
Oh, I'm not really looking at it. I'm just kind of like absentmindedly like minding my own business.
And ye be saying this is of the finest quality.
It is indeed a very fine example of the jeweler's art, yes?
Alright, thank you. I'm gonna take the ring back and go find another jeweler now that I got
The Jew dwarf strikes again.
yeah.
Alright. You step outside
He
and
grew up
you hit,
poor. He's gotta be very, picky.
hit the third jeweler. And you see that... fuck, hold on, I need to check my list of randomly generated NPC names because I'm starting to run out here, Jesus Christ. Give me a moment.
Last jeweler, I promise.
No, it's fine. There we go. You head into Ulrich's Fine Jewels and Jewelry. Cheapest prices in town. And inside you see a rather dapper-looking human man, probably in his late 30s, silver mustache, hair with touches of silver in it here and there, dark hair, green eyes, the color of cut grass, and he bows deeply as you. Ulrich, connoisseur of all things fine, at your disposal, sirs. How may we be of assistance?
I be wondering how much you would pay for a ring made of the finest material.
It's platinum, you know.
Yes, we know this now.
Platinum is, of course, a very rare metal. Oh, well, let me have a look at
It is
it.
expertly crafted
In platinum.
Rather fine.
in platinum. Yes.
Alright, well, if you would be so kind as to surrender the device to me for but a moment, I'll have a look at it in my workshop. I'll be able to tell you the full value of this trinket.
I'm gonna hand him the other ring that hasn't been appraised yet.
Alright. Be back in a moment. Steps into the back. You guys hear fine tinking sound like glass. A little thin glass pipe like on a beaker or something. You hear a few clicks and clicks like dials being adjusted. And after a moment he comes out and says, yeah, it's pretty good construction on this ring. No maker's mark on it, which is unfortunate. Might have driven the value up a little bit. 30 gold pieces would be my estimate. And a fine price at that.
30 gold. The
Indeed.
man across the street was offering 70 gold.
I find that very difficult to believe, sir. Make a deception check for me.
$17. 17.
Let's see what Ulrich rolls. Oh my.
Oh no.
Looks at you, raises one delicate eyebrow and goes, indeed, sir. Well, unfortunately I'll be unable to match such extravagant expenditure on such a device. And I would recommend that you indeed take him up on his offer.
Aye, so I will. I'm gonna take the ring back and go back across to the other guy.
Alright, you're going back to the lady or to the dude?
The dude.
Oh, back again so quickly.
How much did he say it was again? He would pay for it?
50.
40 gold pieces.
Aye. You know, I have 2 of these rings. If I sell you both, how about 100 gold for both?
Seems a little bit extravagant. I'll be willing to do you 90.
Aye, but this be a set. 1 for each hand, you see. They'd be more likely to be sold.
Make a persuasion check for me. Damn you dwarfs.
You dwarf.
He looks at you. So most people have got 5 fingers and still they would not be able to afford such an extravagant purchase. Be able to do
Alright.
you 40 gold per ring.
Alright.
Very well. Takes both rings from you. Glances up at you and goes, "You must be joking, surely."
Aye, what do you mean?
This one, he shows you one, it's the one you showed me earlier. Platinum. This one, shows the other one, silver.
Oh, we got robbed by the other guy.
So if you were to kindly remove yourselves from my premises, I will not call the town guards on.
I just shrugged and leave.
Yeah, take the ring back and leave.
Alright. Sir, what would you gents like to do?
What would be the plan now that you appear to have been robbed?
I'll go back into that third shop again.
Which one?
The one.
The last one you were in.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, changed your minds, have you, good sir?
Yep, 30 gold for the ring. I'm gonna put the silver ring on the table. That he's the one who appraised it too. So
30 gold, you say? Very well. GM reach under the counter and give you your 30 gold pieces. Anything
Alright.
else, sir?
that'd be all. Maybe I'll walk out.
Alright. Make a perception check for me as you leave.
Six.
Okay. You see a small flash of light as you leave the store, but you look back and she's got the ring idly twirling around his index finger. And then as you exit the door, you see him put it in the little pouch and pull tight the drawers.
Okay.
So, gentlemen have ordered armor and arms. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Potions. For potioning.
Potions for potioning. Have you guys got any place to stay yet, or any money left to pay for a place to stay yet?
Oh, I've got plenty of money left.
Okay, that's
I
good.
still haven't used any of my money. I just promised it to
Thingy.
Barnaby.
Yeah.
All right. You head further down the docks, away from the crafting, street of crafting and smithing and kind of thing. Closer towards the Wizard's Tower, and it gradually makes way for a street that is more subdued, quieter. You see, like, the city sounds fade away from you as you enter an area where there are trees planted everywhere, muffling most of the city bustle. Here and there you hear the sounds of horses, although it's difficult to see them from the streetways. Many of the homes here having quite high walls around them. You see numerous apothecaries, small shops advertising enchantments, love potions, get rich quick schemes, and alchemists of every stripe. To you, gentlemen.
Look for any with a potion-shaped sign.
Oh, there are quite a few potion brewers in the area, and
Hit me.
take a hard left.
Hit me
at the
with
first
some
one.
names.
Hit me with some names. Wait a second, let me pull up. I actually have a list of potions, but not. Let's just find it quickly.
I wish to buy their finest potion.
Potion Chulu.
Okay.
I'm off to battle. I need your strongest potion.
Okay. There are a couple of them that you can see. The first one you see is McDade's Prescription. A very old-looking, weathered sign out front of a shop that's got very dark windows that you can just faintly see the interior of the store through a thick layer of dust. A little bit further away, you see another store, Dr. Wilkinson's Most Celebrated Tonics. And you see a sign in front proclaiming the original miracle elixir. You head a little bit deeper down the street, and on the right side, you see Woodbury's facial soap for the scalp, skin, and complexion. If you head a little bit deeper, and you see Herman's Preneur, and then there's all sorts of different shops in this area. Which would you guys like to frequent first?
Let's go in the first one.
Alrighty. You bustle inside the store, and wall to ceiling, floor to ceiling, say, there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of tiny shelves with small bottles, beakers, stoppers, and any kind of glass vial, earthen vial that you can imagine, with a multitude of different colors of viscitudes and shapes and sizes available. And in the store itself, you see a gnome busy gently floating against the ceiling before belching, and you see pink bubbles come from his mouth that drift slowly across the room, propelling him to the left side of the room, where he gently bounced off one rack full of bottles before slowly doing a slow motion tumble towards the other side of the ceiling.
Hello.
Hey! Oh! Hello?
We're
Are
here
you the
for
potions?
potions.
Are you potions?
No.
Oh, that's good. So all you hear as he goes bouncing to the back of the store before gently bouncing off the rear of the shop and bouncing closer towards the ceiling. What can I do for you?
We're looking for potions. Preferably
I just
healing
had some
ones.
lovely potions. I just made a new potion. It's pretty good. And as he says that, he hits the ceiling, the wall, and gently bounces towards the left side corner. So, healing potions.
Yes.
Never had much truck with healing potions.
Do-
But I think I have a few. You see him burp and change direction again.
And they would be where exactly?
I'd have to ask the cat. I forgot.
I think we have made a mistake in coming to this place of business.
Sounds good, odd.
I'm the finest apothecary. What year is it?
I truly think we have made a mistake.
Everybody's just nodding at Vanguard when he says that.
Where's my cat? Anybody seen him?
I'd look around for a cat.
There are. The only cat you can see is a small vial in the shape of a clay kitty with one paw raised, sitting on the counter, covered in a layer of dust.
Is this it? I point at it.
I don't know. Side effects have made me slightly blind.
Can I try and grab him when he floats past?
Sure, I mean, he's not floating terribly quickly. He's just kind of like drifting. Yeah, you can like grab him with one arm and stop him. That's good. Been floating for a few years now.
A few years.
Or days. Or months, I don't really know. Time's kind of fluid.
I hold him very close to the cat bottle. Is this it?
Oh, you found mittens. What were you looking for?
Healing potions.
Mittens. Where are the healing versions? You can see the cat's paw slowly swivel and point to the top right-hand shelf. There we go. How many do you want?
How much are they?
Float me over there. Let's have a look.
Carry him around like a balloon.
Floats over to the shelf and has a look. I got a bunch of potent potions. What you looking for?
Healing potions.
What kind? There's no need to shout. I'm blind, not deaf.
Ones that will heal for a decent amount. That
I
close
don't
up
know what that means.
medium to large size wounds.
I got a potion for 100 gold. Should do you pretty good. Strong enough to heal at least 10 men.
I'll take it. And if you have any lesser ones, I'll also take those.
Those would be 50 gold. I got 2 though.
Yes, I'll take all of them.
Oh, that's good. Sitting on the shelf. Like, takes a bottle out, rubs the cap on his arm, clear off some of the dust. Takes out 2 small vials containing a bluish, turquoise, greenish liquid. Anything else?
I think that will be all for today.
That's great. Put the money on the counter.
Do you need to be tied down?
No, this is just a side effect. I was trying a new potion.
I put the money on the counter and let him go back to floating. We
He
should
floats up to the ceiling where he boop gently starts bobbing until he like steadies.
leave.
Mighty fine to come again soon.
Has it been an hour yet?
Sure. Why not?
Then we should go back
Alright.
and get this shopping list.
Aye.
Aye. You guys walk into the sounds of frenetic destruction still coming from the rear. Sounds like somebody is both ripping down the walls and rearranging the workshop and throwing things at the same time. And you see poor Phaeton actually like literally cowering head near the top of the counter, just trying to keep his head down. Oh, you're good. You're back. That's great. I'm really glad we don't have customers that often because he always gets like this. Here you go, and bring it back soonest. Thank you. And I'm going to hide it in the closet. See you. Goodbye. And he like scurries out. leaving you with a sheet of neatly scribbled items. It looks like somebody was trying very hard to contain their excitement when they were making this list. And you can see several times the words have been crossed out and had to be rewritten because the hand they were written was almost completely illegible. And there's quite a few items on there. Okay, let
Seems
me
we'd
pull
be
up.
needing quite a few items.
I pull up the list.
There is definitely a few items on there.
Oh yeah, there is.
Some would say quite a few.
Some would say quite a few.
Some may use the word many.
Ah, here we go. This is the right monster manual I was looking for. Sometimes and uses to have all these editions. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So, amongst other things, you find the following. Basilisk eggs. Scroll down here because that's not what I had selected at all, and that would have been really awkward because you would all die.
Are those the things that turn people to stone?
Basilisks, yeah. Maybe. We'll have to see if your character knows.
Yeah.
Here we go. Perfect. Basilisk eggs. Cockatrice skin. Quartal feathers. Crawling claw. Cyclops eyes. And dark mantle skin.
It'd be, say, Cyclops eyes, so we must need to fell more than one Cyclops, I see.
You actually see on the list, it says Cyclop eye, and then question mark, and then scratched out, and then eyes,
Is that-
and then like 3 exclamation marks.
It's anywhere on there like as Biclops been crossed out.
Get out.
This be a hefty list.
I don't know what half of these things are.
Have you guys written it down, or do I need
I've
to write it
written
again
it
for
down.
you? Okay,
Put it in my notes.
I've written it down, but a lot of it's probably misspelled.
that's fine. That's not a problem. So, anything else you gents want?
To find an inn.
Yes.
All right. And with the last of the day's light, you gentlemen make your way down to an inn. There are many inns, ranging from incredibly scruffy to very upmarket. Is there anything in particular you look?
Not too scruffy, but not too expensive looking.
Okay. You make your way over to a inn with whitewashed walls and a few potted plants in front on the windowsill. And you step inside, and it's clean. It's very sober. You see a couple of patrons sitting around the tables. Nobody's really dicing. Nobody's smoking. And you see behind the counter a man standing there that clearly has more than a little bit of giant in his heritage. And as you walk in, he goes, "Welcome, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Stone Hill Inn. It's not really much of a hill anymore, and there's not much left of stone since we had to plaster the whole bloody thing. What can I do for you?"
We're looking for a room or free.
Aye, we've got lots of rooms. If you're willing to abide by the rules, you can stay here for as long as you like, providing you've got the coin.
These rules being
No carousing, no smoking, no fighting. And he starts rattling off a ridiculously long list. No dancing on the tables, no sporting, with women in public, no urination in public, no spitting in public. This is a really long list of. And the other thing goes, And then if you don't take any of this, I'm willing to keep your coin and kick you out. So, will you be taking a room?
Do we want a room here?
Sure.
All right.
Can you two follow these rules?
Mario's gonna nod.
Then yes. One of your
Very good, and how
finest
long would you be staying?
rooms.
All right. How many evenings will you gentlemen be with us?
How much is an
What is-
evening?
Will you be settling up for the week? A month? Be willing to give you a discount depending on how long you're staying.
Well, we need to find all these ingredients. I do not know how long this will take.
Right. Shall we say a week to start with? I'd be willing to refund you if you're only stay for 2 or 3 evenings. I'm going to have to insist on at least a minimum of 3 nights, though.
A week is agreeable.
All right. That'll set you back at 5 silver pieces per evening. So that'll be 35 silver for the week.
I pay him a gold.
All right. He takes the gold, puts it on the counter, and then gives you 65 silver. Anything else for you, gentlemen? We serve meals 3 times a day. 1 at dawn, in the afternoon, and in the evenings. There's a bathhouse at the back. I do recommend you make use of it because you currently look like something the horse outside. And otherwise, enjoy the inn. And please don't get any fleas in me bed. Just clean. Hands you a key with a head that is shaped like an anvil. Like a tiny, tiny anvil.
I go up to the room to deposit the remnants of our loot bags.
Yep.
Yes.
He's like, looks at you as you guys are walking up the stairs. We do have a strong box facility if you want to have us store your goods for you. It's a modest price.
Alright, how much?
All right, that will be 1 gold piece per day, but you do get half of them back when you do retrieve your goods.
Alright.
Aye. Mario's gonna hold on to the ring though.
Okay.
I just,
He opens the door, takes you guys to the back, and you see there's a big old heavy safe, probably a good like 5 meters on a side, standing there, far too heavy for anybody to actually carry out. You see him take 2 long keys out and unlock the safe, and then turn huge, enormous lever a couple of times left, right, up, down, and eventually manage to swing it open. And you see inside there are small boxes where one put in bags of coins and the like. All right, so who will be storing their goods here?
I'll put anything like small but really valuable in there.
Okay. So you guys each pay the man, and he stores your goods.
I don't think I've got anything really valuable apart from my gold.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have no items.
I have no items, but I must scream.
Well,
Okay.
Our money loots. Might as well, keep the most of it safe.
So while he's busy packing stuff away, mind if I ask why such a interesting group of you folk are in town?
Trade.
Trade.
Oh, okay. What do you gentlemen trade in?
Gold.
Trade.
Trade.
Okay,
trade.
well, I can see you don't want me to pry in your business. Or anything else?
No.
Okay, well, I do recommend you head up the bathhouse. Lunch should be out by the time you're done, and then we can see about getting you settled.
Alright.
Gives you directions to the bathhouse at the back, which is actually quite luxuriously appointed for an inn. You can see that there's running water coming from somewhere. Not sure from what the source exactly is. It is heated enough so that steam actually curls off the top of a big round pool, good couple of meters across. Pool itself, not that deep. Vanguard, if you were to sit in it, it would probably only come up to like your thighs.
Okay.
And near it, you can see neatly stacks of neatly folded white towels and you also see some soap set out as well. And near the warm water, you see buckets of cooler water as well.
I just start pouring buckets over my head.
Barnaby gets squeaky clean.
Barnaby
Yeah,
gonna be clean.
I also attempt to get clean.
Okay. So, 3 gentlemen hit up the baths, rush the grit and road and dust and mud and sand and other unsavory things from yourselves, leaving the waters rather grey.
Dragon.
And dragon. And enter the inn in your old clothing, your smell much improved, sitting down to a meal of lots of sliced pork and potatoes that have been fried up, mixed vegetables and onion gravy and fresh bread and strong dark ale to go with it. So, is there anything you gentlemen would like to do, or shall we skip to the next day?
We can skip to the next day.
I'd like to do something.
Okay,
When it's-
what does Burnaby want to do?
Barnaby's gonna go for a walk.
Okay. Barnaby goes for a ramble after he's... Does anybody go with him, or is you guys going to chill at the inn for now?
Does Barnaby need any people to accompany him?
No, that's okay.
I just chill.
Okay, so you guys sit back and... I'm assuming Vanguard doesn't drink because that just seems
Thanks,
bizarre.
Vanguard doesn't eat or drink. Vanguard goes outside and practices with his loner hammer.
You practice outside for, half an hour or so until one of the town's guard gets called over to yell at you for scaring passersby and swinging your weapon around, sending you to the back. Okay, what does Barnaby do?
He's heading to that jeweler shop.
Which
I
one?
knew it.
The the one who he thinks switched the rings on him.
Okay. So
And it's pretty
you rock
dark
up outside the store. It's late afternoon. It's not dark yet.
Oh well. Can I wait till dark then?
All right.
Instead.
So Barnaby loiters. Make a stealth check for me to see if you can loiter unobtrusively while waiting for dark.
I cannot.
All right. You're not really trying to hide. What did you roll?
6.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of
This is
like
sick.
stand outside, glaring at the room, and then remembering you shouldn't be glaring at
Well,
it.
I meant
and
like,
trying
can
to
I
look-
wait in the inn until nighttime? Basically.
Okay. You're like, okay, wait at the inn, wait until it's dark, have a nice full dinner, and then head outside for some constructive Barnabying.
Yep.
All right. You make your way to the shop, and what would you like to do?
Is there perhaps a back door at the shop that I see?
All right. You make your way down a side alley, check the rear, and you do indeed see there is a back door leading into the back room to the workroom of the shop.
Alright. I'd like
Door appears
to
to be solidly constructed, made of banded wood. Yeah.
Barnaby
what
would
you
like to put on like a wig with like red head instead of black hair. So that this guy's kid.
It's me, McBarnaby.
I.
All right.
And then he's gonna cast Speak with Animals.
All right. So you're taking 10 minutes. You're doing it as a ritual,
Mm-hmm.
doing your usual stamp and everything. Okay.
I'm gonna talk to my pet mouse, and I'm gonna show him the ring in my inventory, and I'm gonna tell him to go under that door and collect anything that looks like this.
Hey, Barnaby, you want me to do what?
I'm gonna show him the ring and say, "Get anything that looks like this."
Rings. Okay, gotcha. And you got some cheese to pay me?
Mm-hmm. Here's
Ah,
some
excellent.
cheese from that town I bought it from.
Smells the cheese. It's starting to go a little bit hard. It's fine. Chows down on some cheese and squeezes under the door. Inside. Here from inside. Okay, so A couple of minutes later, you hear, "Oh, hello. Oh, you're from the Bill family too. Okay, oh, just having a look around." You hear the voice of your rat drifting back to you from the inside. And a few minutes pass. He comes back, and he has a brass ring in his hand. Oh, in his mouth, I should say. Not. There you go.
All right, I'm gonna give him another piece of cheese, and I'm gonna say, "Go get another one."
What do you mean, go get another one? I just brought you one.
You know how it is. We're getting all the rings.
Can't you just go in the door and get them yourself?
No, we need to be sneaky.
But you can be sneaky.
All right, we'll do it the old way. I'm gonna cast Beast Sense.
Okay. You hear the rat mumbling. I really don't like it when he does this. So what now?
All right, get back in there.
Fine. Walks inside. Through the rat senses, you can see the interior is completely dark. Doesn't look like there's anybody there at the moment. And he looks around. It's pretty hard for him to get up to the top. You see him starts grabbling up the side of a stool and hop onto the seat, crawl over, to hop on something else, climb onto the table. Looks about. Looks around. Sees calipers, small tools for doing settings, removing jewels, that kind of thing. Lots of jeweler's tools sitting on the table. Some of them laid out in neat racks, some of them still slightly disordered. Here and there you see what appear to be necklaces, brooches, that kind of thing. Most of them either locked away or various states of repair.
Okay, he's gonna try to get a ring, I guess.
All right, make a perception check. And then make a stealth check.
Perception is 6, and then the stealth.
And a stealth with disadvantage, since you're currently blind and deaf while you're riding the rat senses.
Stealth is 10.
All right. The rat doesn't see anything on the inside that you can perceive the ring. However, Barnaby, you feel somebody tap you on the shoulder.
All right, I'm gonna turn around and go, "You got any change? Spare of gold?"
You look back at the grey-cloaked, grey and blue-cloaked form of a city watchman looking at you. Make a deception check for me for your got any change.
Got
you were
any
just-
change?
19. Oh, 18.
Strange place to be begging in the middle of the night. In the back of
sleep
a
here.
jeweler's.
I'm disabled.
Come on, get on with you.
God, I'm trying to sleep.
While standing up, watching a jeweler intently. Don't let me find you around these parts again, or else I'm going to have to throw you on the brig.
All right, and Barnaby's gonna start walking away.
Poor Ed's like, no.
Well, he's gonna wait nearby.
Okay.
Not in the alleyway, rather in the market front, so that he's not accosted by a guard again.
Right. And guard comes out and actually watches you. Come on, off with you then.
All right. I'm just gonna start walking down some alley, I guess. I move twice as fast as the guard, right? So.
All right. You dip away from the guard, cruise around the corner, and wait a couple of minutes. You think he's probably not watching more. Do you want to head back and collect your rat, or would you like to try and burgle the place again?
I'm gonna collect the rat.
All right, you swing by, pick up your companion. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'm gonna throw the brass ring into a sewer grate somewhere. Just toss it down. Get it out of here.
I was expecting the words to be through his window.
Well, to be fair, your expectations were better than mine.
All right. Yeah, you tossed it in the grate.
Where did Letty
and
think
head
it
on
was
back to the
going?
inn.
Well, before you even said brass ring, I was thought it was gonna go like, oh, and I'm also gonna set it on fire.
The rat sets it on fire with his tiny pack of gasoline.
The
Okay.
initial plan was to steal as much jewelry as possible and then just throw it all down some sewer grate. Yep.
Okay. I'm assuming Barnaby heads back to the inn.
Yeah, he's gonna
For
head back.
a reasonable night's sleep. Okay, following morning, dawn's bright and clear. You gentlemen feel rather fantastic after your first night's proper rest in a proper bed that's not outside and getting rained on. What would you guys like to accomplish today?
Probably try and do something with his orb.
I'd like to buy some fine cheese along the way.
Yeah, the innkeeper can source his, so it's not a problem. Easy peasy.
All right, and then you
Right.
just give the rat a piece.
The rat's like, nom, nom, nom. Filthy lucre is best. Okay, you guys have a hearty breakfast meal, except for Vanguard, who just vanguards.
Beep, boop, robot.
All right. Anything else you gentlemen want to do?
Deliver the orb.
All right. So, bright early morning, three of you, with the orb in tow, I'm guessing, head on down to the tower. As you approach it, the market is still busy, but there's almost like this invisible exclusion zone around the tower. It's not that there's like signs up going, like no peasants allowed or anything. It's just people seem to naturally shy away from getting too close to it. And you actually see there are almost no homes near the tower, just a few buildings, a few shops and the like. The front entry portal stands open, but there's no door in the frame, and you can't see into the interior.
Should we shout?
I mean, we could
Is
knock
there any
first.
text or anything? Any
Nothing. It's literally nothing. It's just a blank portal. Like, if you look into it, you just see the wall on the other side of it. But there's no door, there's no...
Can I examine the
Oh, so it's
stonework?
basically just a doorway.
It's like a doorway with nothing in it.
Yeah, alright. I mean, casually walking.
Make
Kinda looking
a...
around.
Make a willpower saving.
Oh no.
He becomes a cube.
That the willpower saving throw, you say?
Mhm.
Was it wisdom saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
That is a total of 24.
Wow.
Pass for the ladymans. Alright. You step inside a room that is comfortably upholstered. Seems to have some kind of almost red velvet look going for it, lending a close, intimate atmosphere to the entrance. In front of a wooden desk sits a portly, short wizard, finger stained with ink, wearing long robes and a cloak with the star motif you saw on the flag outside. And he seems to be licking his fingers nervously and paging through a book. Never actually touching the book, just flicking his fingers across the top of it and causing the pages to page to the next one, while occasionally making notation. He glances up with a wrinkled look of distaste as you entered.
What was that effect?
You don't know.
So do we see him on the other side or not?
No, there's nothing there.
Should we follow him?
Barnaby would like to examine the stonework real quick, see like its
Okay.
origin and stuff.
Sure. Make a whatever your stone cutting check is intelligence, isn't it? If I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's like a history check, and I have advantage on it because
Go for it. What is Vanguard doing while Barnaby's doing this?
it didn't matter much. 6.
Watching him stare at stones.
Yeah, it looks like it's construction. It's not dwarvish, not human. You're not sure what it is.
All right, let's follow him in.
Okay.
All right, both of you step inside and make willpower saving throws for me, please.
Oh.
Oh, natural 20.
Passes.
19.
19. Vanguard passes. Damn it. All right. You guys see Kit busy conversing with a wizard sitting at the table. Wizard looks at you. I am Wizard Peabody. And why exactly have you come to bother me?
Well, we found this thingy, and I slowly I take wherever I was carrying it around, and it's kind of a weird thingamajiggy. It made the weather change, and I thought it was like kind of doing dangerous just to be out in the open. So I was hoping to find you magic peoples, and maybe you could, I don't know, do something safe with it.
As you take the orb out, you see the wizard's head actually snap back a couple of inches away from it. He's like, "You can't just go around holding that in your hands. Do you know what kind of damage you've been doing?" You see him mutter an incantation, and a incorporeal hand gently lifts the orb and levitates in front of you, keeping it suspended.
We not be of the magical inclination. You may
Clearly,
be able to
or
tell.
else you wouldn't have caused this much damage. Oh my god! And he looks closer at the map. Do you know what you've done?
No.
Arm is gone.
What? What's gone?
The city. Somebody's fingerprint is. Oh my god.
When did this happen? How long ago did this happen?
You see him waddle away from you, the orb floating behind him. Come with me immediately.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was like that when I found it.
Likely excuse. Wait, yeah.
It was
I
with
can
a
back him up,
dragon.
It's true.
He tells you to wait a moment, leaving you standing in the entry hall to this place. And then after a few moments, the ground under your feet flares a almost blinding white blue light for just a fraction of a moment. And when your eyesight clears, you're sitting in a very comfortable couch, each of you. Next to your right-hand side, Barnaby, there's a large tankard of dwarven beer. Nork, there's the best orcish ale, liquid. I don't even know what you would describe orcish alcohol as, but it's there in a big old tankard next to you. And Vanguard, there's some WD-40 standing on the table now.
Sweet.
And you see,
are we all in the same
arranged
room?
You're all in the same room, and arranged in a half circle in front of you. You see a group of wizards, 8 of them in total. Well, let me rephrase that. A circle of 9 wizards, 8 chairs in a semicircle in front of you, facing you, and in the middle, a 9th wizard staring at you. And one opens her mouth, a woman, but you hear her voice coming from one of the men sitting on the right of you. We are the Circle of 8, and I believe you just delivered this magical artifact to us for no reason.
Well, it's probably be safer with someone who knows how to use it than someone who does not.
All right.
And perhaps some compensation.
monetary gain. Says the
Well, maybe
third
not
wizard
monetary. Could be
is a
object.
um. You may call me Wizard Rary, says a fourth wizard. Voice coming from the woman's mouth. They stare at you for a moment, and you guys get the feeling that they're all communicating with each other, even though you don't see anything happen.
Why are there 9 of you?
Some call us the Circle of Eight, says a wizard on the left. Which is fairly accurate. Introductions are in order. They call me Big B.
I like
Just
that
to be
name.
right. Otelik, Dramish, Tenter, Nice Tool, Otto, and the 9.
I be Barnaby.
Indeed. We're curious about your 2 comrades. A warforged, if I'm not mistaken, and an orc.
Yeah, get.
That would be correct. Designation Vanguard.
Don't really see your kind in this plane much. So the fact that you have brought this artifact to us means you're either incredibly foolish, or you're another voice, or perhaps that they have some moral fiber. Decides such an artifact would be too dangerous to lay around or to leave in the hands of those who misuse it. You're a third voice. So which is it, boys?
Well, I told you already. We brought it so that it could be used by someone who knows how to use it rather than in the wrong hands.
I would lean towards the moral fiber option.
You, green one.
Yeah, well, I mean, this big scary thing that makes well shake. I don't want it. I don't want, people who would make plan go crack will have it.
Rare wisdom for one so limited. You Elixir and goes, very well. I suppose none of you are of the arcane persuasion, looking at your martial accoutrements. How does this sound? You have demonstrated fine judgment in bringing this device to us, and judging by the fact that you're all sitting there, the force of will to resist the enchantments left upon this tower and enter unscathed. We would like to enter into a mutually beneficial business agreement with you gentlemen, if you are so inclined. We occasionally hear about small artifacts that need to be recovered, rogue wizards, necromancers that need to be dealt with, occasional murder that needs to be investigated, its perpetrator brought to justice, not always within our borders, or we need a extra missionary force to deal with such things. And in return for these small tasks rendered, we will of course be willing to put our not inconsiderable arcane expertise at your disposal. You will of course be compensated for the delivery of the orb, as is only fair. What say you, gentlemen?
Or, I mean, I don't have anything better to do. What about you guys?
We are kind of transient at the minute.
Aye. But for the orb, do you perhaps have any of these? And then I'm going to show him the list from the blacksmith.
Okay, what's all on the list? Read it down to him.
Basilisk eggs, cockatrice skin, quattle feathers, crawling claw, cyclops eyes, and dark mantle skin.
Well, it's a fairly bit esoteric, but it's an unusual request. Your ilk normally asks for gold, which I'll be happy to admit that we can normally create quite easily.
Is that legal?
What is legal? I can help you with some of these items. Myself and my compatriots. Crawling Claw is a little bit unusual. We'd have to create one for you. They're constructs of necromancy, but that's not beyond our skill. Cockatrice, I think we still have a breeding pair here. Do you need a juvenile or a fully grown one?
The skin of a fully grown one.
Very well. So look through the rest of the list. Basilisk eggs, unfortunately. I can point you to the creature's breeding grounds, but it's a hazardous endeavor. And I would like at least to have a task or two completed from you before you might cease to exist if you were to find these little creatures. Let's see. Looks oh, the dark mantle problem. We have a small problem in the Underdark that we with. That's their natural habitat. I'm sure you'll run in. So that should. So, the creation of a crawling claw and the use of one of our cockatrices, or should I say the death of our cockatrice. Oh, this coatal will be quite a problem. It might have some problems. I don't know if you know much about these creatures. They're celestials. We could procure the ingredients to summon one of them, although I'd imagine... what parts do you need from this creature?
Well, what was it again?
Feathers.
Oh, the feathers. Sorry, I had a phone call. My bad.
Well, if you need the feathers, I'd suggest speaking. The gods don't take kindly to those that destroy their messengers, and the lawful, humane creatures are sometimes a bit tiresome to deal with.
Well, we don't have to destroy it. Just a couple of feathers, you know, pluck, pluck.
Well, it's a creature of somewhat mighty intellect, much more vast than yourself. I suggest you negotiate with it instead of trying to pluck it like a common chicken. But for a small favor to us, we will be summoned for you. Shouldn't be a problem. Cyclops, on the other hand, tricky. We could probably divine you for you to find. Though,
At least
of course, well, they live up in the wildlands. You'll have to head up to Icewind Dale way. I can pinpoint one for you, but dangerous creatures. And again, how does this sound? You hear one of the other mages. A small task will take you to where you can find a dark mantle. A second task will allow us to find Cyclops you seek. And a third task will allow us to summon the coddle, so you may procure its feathers. And in payment for your current delivery, you may have the crawling claw and the cockatrice. Fair?
Are you going to be
Aye.
fine with me?
Seems fair. As long as we still get paid for the other tasks.
No, I mean, the payment is getting the birds you need.
No, I meant like, you know, we're already going to slay Dark Mantle, so it doesn't really seem like a fitting reward if we can just get it ourselves, you know?
No.
Well, I see that your dwarven avarice is very true. Says a different voice from one of the other wizards. The ninth wizard in the middle hasn't said anything yet. He's just sitting there within his robes watching it. Very well. There's a chasm within the city that opened during the eruption. Some of it opens into the upper parts of the Underdark. And we've had a few small incidents with the darker elven cousins from the deeps. We'd very much like you to recover something for us that was stolen recently from the homes of one of our members. a skull, its eye sockets replaced by two large emeralds. It burns with a bluish flame and is capable of being used in quite a number of rituals. We can give you a small diviner's rod to help you locate the device, and tell you where to ingress into the Underdark, but once you are down there, that is of course all up to you to survive.
What?
Sounds reasonable.
Aye.
Excellent. And you see one of the women reach inside her robe, take out a small crystal rod, about the length of a ballpoint pen, and the same thickness, made of it almost looks like frosted glass. And she hands it to you, Barnaby. Keep this with you. Allow us to instruct you, deliver messages, and it will also serve as a guide.
Barnaby's gonna give it a good shake.
Feel free. It is quite resilient. In fact, the previous owner, this was the only thing that survived the previous owner. Is there anything else? You gentlemen have been rather quiet.
No, I'm good. All I really wanted to do is make sure that we'll all be doing that blow up the world.
Could you tell
Excellent.
us what these scrolls do? And I'm gonna point to Vanguard because I think he has them. We had those 2 scrolls that were in like a bone thing.
You realize we're not street peddlers to identify every trinket you bring to us. But since you know no better, fine.
I hand them the scrolls.
First one is a scroll of lightning bolt. And the second one is a scroll of zone of truth.
I give them both to Git.
What?
They are magic.
Oh,
So, if there's anything else,
no.
excellent. I
Um,
suggest you finish your drink.
Alright. I finished my drink.
All right. And as you take the last sip from the tankard, disappear, and you're standing in exactly the same spot as you were when you were following the little wizard deeper into the tower, except now facing the other way, towards the archway where you entered.
Do I still have the tankard in my hand?
You still have the tankard in your hand.
Do I just leave this somewhere over here? I'll look around. Is there
I
anybody here?
think it's called a souvenir.
There's nobody in there.
Oh, it would be just rude to just take it.
Barnaby, talk to them on your stick. Ask them if we keep these.
I'm gonna shake the stick again. Anyone in there?
You see the shape stick turn a rosy pink color, and then you hear a woman's voice. No, you don't need to shake it. Nobody's in here. We can hear your thoughts. You don't need to speak out loud. You also just left. What do you want?
My friend has a question. I'm gonna point the stick at Git.
Do you want these back or no? Or should we just take them?
Leave them on the counter or take them with you. They're conjured constructs.
Oh,
I do not care.
Oh, okay. I put it to somewhere at a desk.
You put it down on a disc and you see it like pop out 2 little legs and go like marching off.
Holy shit.
I put mine in my
Whoa.
pocket.
I don't think Barnaby has one.
And then I just leave. Oh, and thank you for your time. And before I leave, just to nobody.
That's such a well-spoken orc. You guys hear the stick say.
Thank you, magic stick.
Oh, it'll come in, I think. You see it fade away and no longer glows.
Did you break it?
So,
I don't know. Let me check. I'm gonna shake the stick again.
you know, if you keep doing that and you really do need assistance, one of us isn't going to answer. This is a different voice this time.
I was just checking.
You don't need to shake it.
Barney's gonna give him a nod.
Also, we can't see you.
Barney's gonna shake the stick in a nod.
You hear somebody in the background. Should we just, like, send them to their death or something?
Please don't do that.
Just
I'll
stop
take-
calling us.
I'll take the stick away from me. Give me the stick.
I'm gonna hand get the stick.
I'll take the stick and just put it somewhere safe and clean.
Safe and clean. Not in your prison pouch.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Anything else you gentlemen would like to do?
Well, we need to, well, what is our to-do list? We need to go do stuff.
Clean out the
I think we're
Underdark.
going to the yeah, the Underdark to collect the skull with
I've
like
got-
a strength.
Less than a week until my new mall is ready. So we can probably go do Underdark stuff for a week.
Alright. Well, unless unless it's gonna take longer than a week.
Maybe we should ask.
It's not.
Give that stick a shake, Git.
No. You don't want to, anger wizards too much. The magic people too much. They all get all grumpy and then you turn into toad.
All right.
So, what's your plan of operation?
Maybe we should learn about the Underdark.
Makes sense.
Who could know
Like-
a lot about the Underdark?
Where was that wizard that was in here when we came in? Maybe he has a library.
You see Peabody come walking out of the back, muttering to himself. And then stops in his tracks. Why are you still here?
Do you have a library?
Quite an extensive one.
Could we use
You know
it,
how
please?
to read?
Yes.
Oh, good. You seem surprised, I don't feel it. Fine, come with me, and no, you can't take any of the books with you, and yes, you will be disintegrated if you attempt to remove them. Crooks a finger at you. Lead you deeper into the library. Holy shit, I have so many tabs open. Give me a sec, I need to, like, close some of these. I can't see fucking anything!
I'm too deep, man.
I'm in too deep. We cannot hold. Takes you deeper into the tower. Leads you up a few flights of steps. And takes you into a area where you see a few younger wizards sitting around in various colored robes. Some of them brown, some of them blue, some of them green. Seems to have some kind of ranking system that can't quite figure out. And most of them are, nose deep in books. A few of them have got familiars sitting with them, sitting on their shoulders, or a personal desk next to them, helping them study. And yeah, it's just books for days.
So we're quite the freak show for these people right now.
Oh yeah, you see a few of them like glance up and just like, the fuck? Yeah, a lot of sneers, couple of like sniggers, and a lot of people just flat ignoring you. Like they've summoned weirder things.
Could you
Let's go get those books.
could you point us in the way of Underdark books?
I suggest starting at you. And then he turns around and walks away.
Why would you start at me?
No, you, like the letter U, I think.
Ah,
All right. So, how many of you gentlemen are actually of the scholarly persuasion?
None of us, I
I
assume.
can read and
Yeah.
write common.
Yeah, common and dwarven.
Okay, so none of you are like actually, you know.
I can read. I know my letters. I spend lots of time trying to learn common letters. I know what a U is.
I have above average intellect.
I
Okay.
have a below average intellect.
You guys can all make knowledge geography check.
Natural 20.
Wow.
18.
1.
Glorious.
I'm like, fucking these names.
You're just like Menzerazoroban? What?
Yeah, I just know the places as like spooky forest and stuff thing.
Exactly. Even with your natural 20 hippo, you're a simple caravan guard. You don't really know the lore of the Underdark per se. You know a bit more than the average Joe, from stories that have been passed apart. You know that there are both elves and dwarves that live in the Underdark, different from their surface cousins. You know that the Underdark is home to numerous creatures that have mutated over the years or evolved over the centuries to deal with the completeness that is in the Underdark. And you also know that you should probably take plenty of light, since most of the denizens there are adapted for living in the dark and most surface dwellers aren't.
How
And
would
that you
dark look?
probably won't be able to negotiate with anybody. Because nobody speaks common. They speak a bastardized version of the surface language called Undercommon that is completely unintelligible to outsiders. You also know that there are some gnome tribes, that have also greatly diverged from their more cheerful surface cousins over the centuries. And that many creatures of the Underdark are very powerful in the magical sense. That is what you fine gentlemen can gleam from the archive with your ferocious scholarly ability.
The Underdark seems like a hostile environment. We should prepare carefully.
Can we find like a dictionary of Underdark to common? Not here, of
Fortunate.
course. But
I mean, you can certainly try, but chances are probably going to be a very, very esoteric area of study.
Let's get
Probably
looking.
only people that have actually been in the Underdark and studied language will have something like that.
Why do we need to speak their language though? Isn't our job to, grab, smash and grab,
no,
and
but
smash animal?
maybe they'd be peaceful.
What I'm reading is contrary to that.
Well, I mean, there's gnomes and elves in there, aren't there?
I don't think they're the good kind, based on
Oh.
what,
Yeah, you see a lot of passages dealing with the grey-skinned, pale-haired denizens, dwarf, elf, gnome, and their bloodthirst, strange magical abilities, and
Bloodthirst.
their strange societies and worship of dark gods.
I guess it does seem like a smash and grab then.
yeah. Alright, so we should, start preparing by, getting some equipment, maybe taking oh, how long we think this gonna take? Or should we like prepare for a week and then head off, or so we can get this smashy thing?
I do not know.
Tell me what's your opinion on the situation. Should we go now? And then afterwards get Smash Hammer and or what?
Smash hammer would be useful. I do not mind waiting a week.
I can wait a week.
Alright, so we take like okay, so we take like a week. Well, we leave the tower library first, 'cause, we're not very scholarly. And then just like take a week to prepare, and then start heading off.
Okay. Is everybody agreed on that?
Mhm.
Yes. Wait week. Get hammer. Go below.
Is there any gear you guys would like to procure before that?
Torches.
Lots of light
lanterns.
torches and lanterns.
Goggles of night vision.
Ha. If you had more gold, sure. Okay. I'm thinking you guys probably want things like bullseye lanterns or storm lanterns,
Mm-hmm.
lamp oil, lots of lamp oil.
Yep.
A big old rucksack that I can shove it all in.
Rocks, rope, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rope.
Pythons,
Pythons,
climbing tools.
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer's good. Crowbar.
Crowbar.
Anything else you guys want?
Oil for the lamps.
Yeah. How many
maybe
lamps
we
you guys want?
Let's take one each and 2 spare.
It seems like a little excessive for lamps. Yeah, maybe two lamps, one spare, and then just also a bunch of extra torches for like disposability usage.
Maybe we could
Alright.
visit a potion shop for Vanguard to finally buy his potions.
I brought potions.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Is there any kind of equipment we could get that would create like a really bright flash or something? Like a really bright light?
You could buy sunstones. Sunstones, thunderstones. They're quite expensive though. It's like 75 gold for one.
Oof.
Yeah. You can get them. They are available in Neverwinter. You throw them on the ground, they make a big old concussive boom, does 2d6 thunder damage, and sunlight effect for 1 round. Blinding and imposing disadvantage on creatures with underdark thingies, dark vision and so on.
Oh, that sounds pretty useful. Maybe you should. How much money would we really have any more remaining?
I'd say for the mundane gear, you guys are probably looking at about 70 to 100 gold, depending on how much stuff you want. And then thunderstones, like I say, are quite expensive.
Because those could save our asses. But I mean, we couldn't try without them.
We can always find more gold, probably in the Underdark.
Or just stuff to sell.
Yeah, a lot of dead adventurers down there.
Yeah. Lots of, dead adventure gear stuff. Yeah, so spend maybe buy a couple of thunderstones for emergency purposes.
We could each
It's up
get
to you
like
guys.
one, maybe. Like one each.
One each sounds kind of expensive.
It's 225 gold for three of them.
Yeah, that's a bit expensive. I say
Yeah.
just buy two of them.
All right. So you guys want to spend about, let's say every person spends about 75. That will
Okay.
give you as much oil as you can reasonably carry with you. Reasonably. And your storm lanterns, or do you want bullseye lanterns?
What's the difference?
Bullseye are the ones with the adjustable thing at the front, so you can make the beam smaller or larger or shutter it completely. Storm lanterns are the ones that are encased so they don't get blown out by sudden winds.
Maybe some of each. Have like
Yeah, if you're gonna get-
two of each.
All right. Yeah, storm lanterns are basically like like a
Torch in a
base
bottle.
that's hollow. Yeah, it's like a base that's hollow that the oil goes in with a wick with glass around it, then like a metal handle at the top to carry it with. And a bullseye lantern is like an all metal thing. Hold up, let me see if I can find you a picture.
Yeah, and I know what both of those actually look
Like your crossbow.
All right, so a couple of each, lots of rope and climbing tools and things like that. Let's just say on this character sheet, you guys can add like D6 equipment, each of you. And then if you come in a situation where you want a specific piece of equipment and it's mundane, then you can just take it off the 6 pieces of equipment and then reduce that number by 1. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Instead of having to try and remember every single thing, just be like, oh yes, and when we got these things, we also got a hammer or whatever.
And rope that can hopefully hold more than 60 pounds.
Yeah, we can work on some
Chain.
rope into that. Chains. Yeah, you can get some chains. No problems. Okay, so the next week is spent preparing, training, resting up, buying provisions, packing everything, getting ready for your trip. A couple of trips back and forth from the library to check up on a few things that you've come up as questions. And the next week will start once you have procured your hammer, which I should probably give you stats for.
Yay.
With you guys ready to head down into the Underdark. In the meantime, Barnaby, you gain your cockatrice and your undead hand that's still alive to take to your smith friend.
All right.
Okay, so you have 2 of your components for the armor solo. Hippo. Just quick. So that's for your hammer, and then we will end for the evening. We just try and find it quickly. I have way too many PDFs open. Adobe keeps crashing. I have like 70 PDFs open. Maul. Here we go. You were using a maul, or were you using a
Maul,
hammer?
yeah,
Hippo?
maul.
Maul specific. Okay. Okay. So your maul gains the adamantine property. Adamantine is one of the hardest substances in existence in D&D. And whenever you hit an object with an adamantine weapon, or piece of ammunition, but weapon in this case, it always counts as a critical hit.
Whenever I hit a what?
Whenever you hit a object
Okay.
with an adamantine weapon, it always counts as a critical hit.
So you can smash down doors good.
You can smash down lots of things good. Adamantine is incredibly hard. It's also very, very, very effective against things made out of materials like wood or stone or metal, golems and things like that.
It's very
It's
good
very-
at crumping you, Hippo.
It's very good at crumping hippo, yes. It would be
Oh, no.
incredibly good at crumping hippo. Um,
Did anyone else's game?
oh,
crash already?
and probably. No, not yet. Also, adamantine weapons allow you to damage creatures that are normally immune to physical weapons.
Does that mean? I should be able. Is that the same as it being silvered?
No. There are some weapons that are some creatures that are completely resistant to physical weapons. For example, like certain kinds of lycanthropes you cannot damage unless you have silver weapons. So you need silver weapons. There are similar creatures that are not lycanthropes, like certain constructs and things like that, that you hit them with a hammer or a sword and they're just like, lol, and then just carry on trucking and stab you in the face. Adamantine weapons can damage them as normal. So adamantine's actually not a magical substance, which is what makes it weird. Xanathar has actually got a whole section on it.
Okay.
It's not a magical substance. It's also interesting if you use it on armor, for example. If you get hit by critical hit, and it's your adamantine armor, it just becomes a normal hit. Just straight up. Boom,
Nice.
Doesn't. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and then your damage die for your weapon changes. Your mole becomes 2d8 bludgeoning.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. And that's it. Anything else for you, gents?
No.
No, good.
It's all good.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So, like I say, sorry, there was a little bit all over the place this session. Like I said, I literally got to home like as we started. I just got home, so I didn't have as much time to prep as I would have liked.
Look at how much stuff we achieved.
So
Yeah.
much stuff. Mostly
A lot of
shopping.
shops.
Sorry.
That's
So many
fine.
shops.
We shopped. We met interesting
That's
NPCs.
mostly my fault.
So many NPCs. Poor Wade. Wade's gonna be like dig deep in making armor for like however long it takes you guys to do your next bunch of stuff.
If we live long enough, that is.
Oh, the upper Underdark isn't 100% leaf.
Yeah, but then we got
90%.
Cyclops, Quattles.
I would not suggest you fight the Quattle.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. The best idea is probably we go to talk to Quaddle and we're like, hey, brah, we need some feathers. Can you give us some? And then
Yeah,
we're
what
gonna
can
be
we do
like,
for
no,
you?
brah. And then we're like, please, we'll do some fucking favor or something. Then it'll be like, sure, whatever, brah.
Yeah, Barbie generally won't kill something unless it attacks first. Or
Barnaby.
attack back.
Well, and Barnaby's gonna have a good time in the Underdark because everything there is ridiculously hostile. Even the water
Bloodthirsty.
wants to kill you. Everything.
I was like, oh, gnomes, elves, and dwarves. Shouldn't be too bad.
Oh yeah,
But they're
man.
all
Underdark is
bloodthirsty.
crazy. Underdark is completely mental. It's got lots of cool stuff. All right. So I know, like I said, today was mostly shopping. Is there anything, gentlemen, would like to add or change?
No, I think we're fairly exhaustively gone through everything.
I think shopping episodes are generally speaking a little bit boring, so sorry for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It needs to
It
be
was-
done anyway. So.
I just want to say I'm loving Letty's like journal.
This lady's journal, fabulous. I haven't actually looked at it.
It's really good.
Man, I have so many tabs open, like, it's ridiculous. Because I'm pulling, like, stuff all over the place. got a bunch of, like, old second and third ed stuff open as well. It's just like...
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's pretty great. I was wondering what was with all the pictures.
It's all the stuff that's happened.
I like that crossbow. With the AK mag.
Nice arrow pointing at the Cyclops eye.
It's pretty great.
And there's Vanguard with his hammer.
That's pretty interesting.
And Floaty Gnome.
What did you guys think of the various shopkeepers, even though I didn't get a chance to do them as in-depth?
Floaty Gnome
Yeah, they're
is
fun.
off. I think he
Yeah,
may have
like-
been off its face.
Oh, he was so far off his face, it was pretty ridiculous.
Letty, what's this one?
Oh, it's just some random doodle. It's not even supposed to be anything.
Vanguard with an oversized magazine.
Probably.
A lot of bolts in there.
Yeah. Alright, so Barnaby is on his way to forge himself a suit of magic dragon scale breastplate armor.
Yep. Gotta be sneaky.
And Vanguard, he's got a smash hammer now that can smash real good. And what else have we got?
We
And
got
Ed,
a
what about
shaky
Git?
rod.
What is Git?
He's got some
He's got to
scrolls,
say
he's
for
got that
himself.
fancy armor.
Do I?
Yeah, you got the fancy elven mail that we got last time.
Oh yeah, the 18 armor class. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I do have a fancy armor now.
Muffins, you.
I completely forgot about that, but yes, I do have the fancy armor.